politician, nobody is safe from his wrath. He's the business badass here on the warpath. Ghost, predicting the future. Ghost, spotting synapses. Ghost, the badass of business. Yeah, now get ready. True Catholics Radio starts right now. Now. Fucking thoughts. Fucking thoughts.
How's it going, folks? And thank you for tuning in with me to another edition of the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. And of course, I am your host, the man they call Ghost, and I want to thank you very much for tuning in with me on this very special Memorial Day weekend edition. It's the end of the Memorial Day weekend. And I want to say cheers to everybody out there who has served our country and made the ultimate sacrifice. Cheers to each and every one of you. It's because of your great sacrifice I live, and we all appreciate the freedoms and the opportunities that are accorded to this great country. So cheers to everybody out there who has served our great military and who paid the ultimate sacrifice. Your sacrifice is not in vain at all. So moment of silence for those folks. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in with me. Cheers to everybody out there. I hope you're having yourself a very safe Memorial Day weekend. It is 102 degrees out here in San Antonio, Texas. It's been over 100 degrees all weekend, but that certainly didn't stop me from going out and doing some barbecuing. I'll tell you that. All right, I mean, us out here in Texas, we don't let the heat bother us when it comes to outdoor activities. But I'll tell you, it does wear on somebody when you're out there doing any kind of smoking of meats out there in the 102-degree heat. But anyway, cheers to everybody out there. And I want to say also, my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody who has been afflicted to this anomaly weather that has happened out there in North Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and other regions. Cheers to you. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. It's a very unfortunate situation, and I hope that you get yourself up and running once again. And happy Memorial Day, those folks considering. Anyway, we got Rumble Rant already. Real Female. Hey, Ghost, how's your Monday? I'm doing some gardening right now, planting some beets and carrots. Well, it's a good time to do it. Thank you, Real Female. Anyway, let's go ahead and get this place started, shall we? Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about finance. Even though the markets are closed today, I just want to run through a couple of things as we get into the week here. And cheers to everybody out there in the True Capitalist Radio chat room. If you want to be a True Capitalist member, go ahead and hook it up at buymeacoffee.com/GhostPolitics and hook it up with a membership. Anyway, let me move over here. Let me move from here to here, and let's talk a little bit about finance. I'm not going to go too deep into it today. Put the PC shot on, though. Data reveals rising economic distress across America despite post-pandemic growth. And this is a nice map kind of depicting the red areas in which you're seeing some distress when it comes to people's finances, and it's certainly not looking good. And look, I'm not trying to sound like the bear investor here, but I caution everybody that's being overly optimistic on this supposed bull market that we're in. I get it that the NASDAQ is going nuts. We've hit 40,000 Dow Jones Industrial, but I've seen this before. I have lived through many crashes, and this looks eerily similar before we start all feeling the effects of this economic contraction. All right, and as you can see depicted here in this map, it doesn't look like a lot of the country is doing very well. And I think this is a great depiction. And once again, the reason is because of the monetary tightening by the Federal Reserve. And moreover, I think that people, consumers in general, are tapped out of their credit, and we're about to see the side effects of that. So as you can see, a very good depiction of what's going on here in the country. And we got a Real Female over there at Rumble who did a Rumble rant thinking of doing some ribs for dinner. What's a good rub you use? Well, I actually use my own rub, but
I'd buy that for
I would consider Stubbs. Binface, it seems like it's that time again. And Count Binface, aren't you some kind of a ghost show troll? Anyway, moving on from that, once again, take a look at this map. It is showing in red distressed, at risk, mid-tier, people that are living comfortably and are prosperous over there. And as you can see, a lot of discrepancy depending on what part of the country you're in. And if you happen to be going through these financial turbulent times, my thoughts are with you. I mean, let me tell you, you're not the only one out here. And as you can see, it is depicted in this graph here. But the only reason I brought this up, because once again, I want to caution everybody that is full-fledged bull in this market.
I'd buy that for $1.
And look at JSAV. I'd serve crack before I serve this country. You see, this is what we're dealing with here. I'm not even at that portion of the broadcast yet, you freak. But anyway, as I've been telling everybody since the beginning of this monetary tightening of the Fed by, March of 2022, I told everybody that cash will be king. And if you accumulated cash, all right, you're probably going to be in a very good position in this coming contraction because, as I've been stating over and over, that's why the old-time billion-dollar investor himself, Warren Buffett, has saved, what did I say on the last show? $160 or $180 billion in cash he is hoarding, and he is waiting for everybody to just start manic selling because they have to maintain sustenance. And that's when we'll all know we're in the economic recession, possibly even worse than that. So I just want to let everybody know this, all right? I know I sound like a bear investor in here. I know many of you people are like, oh, shut up, boomer. Let me tell you, fucking NVIDIA to $5,000 or some crap. I think you people better start entertaining an exit strategy and start stacking your chips, if you want my opinion, all right? But once again, everybody's feeling the effects. And on top of which, since we're talking about the Fed, I think it would only be, the thing to do to discuss what the Fed is possibly doing. Now, I told you all when many of you investors were getting funny in the pants. Hold on, what is this? Pookie from 713. God bless the troops. Both sides. Go piss off, all right, you anti-American scum. All right.
Buy that for $1.
And hold on, I'll read that in a minute there, Count Binface. All right, we're talking a little bit about finance here on this Memorial Day edition of the True Capitalist Radio Show. All right, now put the PC shot on. Now, what did I tell each and every one of you that were anticipating late last year that there were going to be 2, 3+ interest rate cuts in 2024? I told you that you were counting your eggs before they hatched. I told everybody that this was way premature back then. I said, wait until the data comes out. And, of course, everybody and their brother was like, no, everything's going to be great. We're going to have 3 interest rate cuts. Yay, spaghetti. I told you all back in 2022 that at the very minimum, interest rate cuts will come at the end of 2024. I said that in 2022. And take a look. I mean, the Fed is validating my trajectory of their thinking. Put the PC shot on. The Fed probably won't be delivering any interest rate cuts this summer. No kidding. I mean, the prognosticator of prognosticators strikes again. And as I stated, the reason that they are not cutting is because after a substantial time of monetary tightening, I know many of you people have heard this before, but after a substantial time of monetary tightening, once they cut interest rates, that's when the Fed has gone too far. That's when everything starts falling apart, and the reason they lower interest rates is to bring back liquidity back into the markets. So that's why the Fed isn't going to cut, because by the time they cut, everything is already in free fall, and we're not in free fall yet. Why? Because it's not the fiat currency that has been printed post-COVID, and even before that, going back to Greenspan in the early 2000s, it's not that is keeping inflation high. As I've been stating, it is debt. It is synthetic dollars. Synthetic fiat is what I like to call it. It is government debt, which, by the way, I think hit almost, $35 trillion already? It's government debt that we're incurring, because remember, every time the government takes on debt, it has to dispense those dollars somewhere, and where are they dispensing them? Right here in America. And those dollars get circulated, offsetting any kind of monetary tightening by the Fed, and also consumer debt, which also, once again, adds synthetic dollars into the market. And as a result, this is why the inflation rate and prices of things have not come down. we are literally waiting for the consumer to tap itself out of credit, and that's going to be, that's going to be something to see. If y'all were not cognizant to witness and understand what was going on in 2009, you're going to get a rude awakening, because back then, everybody and their brother could not afford to have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, because much like right now, everybody back then was living on credit, and everybody was a decent earner back then. It was a decent economy, and they had enough revenue in order to make that monthly payment, in order for them to keep the house, in order for them to keep the car and the furniture. And as a result, once they start foreclosing on homes and repossessing cars and defaulting on credit, people are just going to have everything taken away from them. And it's going to be a demoralizing situation, and I certainly hope many of you aren't in this predicament. And if you are, you better reposition yourself financially so you don't have to go through the type of demoralization that many people did back in 2009, because those folks' gums are still bleeding. I mean, let me put it to you this way. If you have to, for whatever reason, not pay on certain credit, make sure, in my opinion, to pay your secured debt first. Pay your secured debt first, because you can default on credit cards, wait 8 years, and get credit again. If you default on a goddamn car note, if you default on a house note, you are financially toxic, and you will never be lent money by a financial banking institution ever again. And that's why we have such high rents in America today, because I predicted this right after 2009. If you were listening to me back in 2010 and 2011, I was saying that in the future, it's going to be high rents. All right? It's going to be high rentals, because not everybody's going to be able to qualify for a house, because if you have a foreclosure in your history, you can forget about it. You can forget about it. So I'm just telling everybody, I'm warning everybody once again. I know everybody is circle jerking over the market, over crypto. I'm cautioning everybody, it can't get much higher than this. And then once it does, it's just going to all start falling down. It's going to all start falling down at some point in time. I can't pinpoint when that is, because we have so much synthetic dollar circulating the market at this point, but it's coming. All right, it is coming. So anyway, I just wanted to go over that a little bit when it comes to the financial markets. It is Memorial Day. The markets are closed, and everybody's having a chill day. So that's about the extent I want to go ahead and talk about the market. So let's transition, no pun intended, to some political stuff. Now, I know I'm always talking about how the Republicans are just, they're not looking their best, all right? As a matter of fact, I think y'all have heard me repeatedly that we don't stand for anything. The GOP has no values. They have no moral principle. They're not fiscal conservatives. Let's talk about the Democrats, because we, as the GOP, should be capitalizing on this, on top of their very fucked up governance in the past 4 years since they've had a semi-majority. We can't capitalize on it. And let me tell you, James Q Ball Carville, which is a Democrat strategist that actually won the election for Bill Clinton, him and Paul Begala and Stephanopoulos and all those guys, he's come out publicly, Q Ball Carville, and said this: Democrat messaging is full of shit. James Carville erupts at the left for focusing.
I'd buy that for $1.
Hey, what's going on? The Fallen Dawn, stop hoarding your tobacco and take a smoke for the vets. All right, cheers. All right, I will, once I read Count Binface's dono. All right, cheers to you, man. All right, Fallen Dawn. But anyway, take a look at this. Q Ball Carville, he's upset that right now, in the midst of a presidential election, they're focusing on Gaza while ignoring the economy. And remember, Carville, he was the guy that coined the phrase during the Clinton campaign of '92, "It's the economy, stupid." Remember that? I mean, maybe some of you folks that were around at that time remember that. But Democrats are not in their best right now. They're kind of disjointed with their own message. Because lest we forget, if you take a look at the last two State of the Union speeches by Joe Biden, in my opinion, he has taken most of the elements of what the MAGA campaign was in 2016, repackaged it in a Democratic face, and is now selling that right now on his campaign. I mean, if you take a look at his last State of the Union, it was like made in America, we need made in America, the same type of rhetoric. So it is very disjointed, the message right now, the Democrats. And just to show you how disjointed the Democrat message is, and moreover, they're not as unified as many people think. This is a perfect example of this. You know that this woman out of Michigan, I don't know, this pro-terrorist woman, Tlaib, what the hell's her name? That Rashida Tlaib, all right? Put the PC shot on. This is the piece of trash I'm talking about. All right, now Tlaib claims U.S. voters will make Biden pay for defending genocidal maniac Netanyahu. So this is what Carville is talking about when it comes to the Democratic strategy of campaigning for 2024. You've got Biden. I mean, unfortunately, he owns this Israel-Palestine situation, whether he likes it or not. Every president has to deal with the Israeli-Palestinian situation, and I mean, I hate to say this, there is a lot of point of emphasis on giving some level of, I don't know, tit for tat when it comes to Israel and its offensive on Palestine. But here you have these lefties, you know, these folks that, you know, care about terrorists that are chastising their own candidate in their own party for president because supposedly Biden is defending Netanyahu. Now, if you want my opinion, I mean, I'm no pro-Biden here, but I think that the Biden administration has been very tough on Israel compared to previous administrations, and that includes Obama. I mean, Joe Biden has threatened to cut off arms to Israel if they move into Rafah, which they are partly doing now, which we're going to talk about in a minute. But this is why I'm telling you, this is a disjointed Democrat Party. They are not as unified as they claim. Now, the problem is, folks, is that you got this stupid bimbo, right, Rashida Tlaib, and she's using this Palestinian effort in order to get her face in the media, which obviously she has succeeded. The problem is, folks, it underscores what I've been saying about women leadership, all right? Women shouldn't be in charge of anything because aside from her putting herself in the paper, she's actually hurting her party. Now, the reason she's hurting her party is because she herself has no substance. Have you ever heard this woman in an interview? This is the kind of airheaded bimbos that we're electing into office, the AOCs, all right, these stupid, dumb sisters that are out there saying, oh, girlfriend, on House committees, you know. I'm not talking just on the left, the right, too. You know, Lauren Boebert, fucking Major Green Taylor, that stupid broad. These are the people that we're electing, and I want you to, I've already showed you Major E. Green Taylor, you know, making a mockery of the goddamn House of Representatives about a couple of shows ago. I want you to take a look at this Rashida Tlaib. And this is a person that is leading the country, all right? This is a person that is leading the country, at least representing Michigan. Take a listen to this woman and ask yourself, are we really electing the right people? All right, take a look at this. All right, now this is an Axios interview. Axios, of course, is, I think, HBO, and obviously left-leaning. And she couldn't even do a proper interview with a left-leaning media outlet. Take a look at the absolute airheaded ramble that this Rashida Tlaib represents herself as, and the people in her constituency. Take a look. All right? Axios, by the way.
In 2020, you endorsed the BREATHE Act, which is a series of proposals to transform America's criminal justice system and create, quote, a roadmap for prison abolition. The BREATHE Act proposes emptying federal detention facilities within 10 years. To what extent have you wrestled with any potential downsides of releasing into society every single person who's currently in a federal prison?
Yeah, I think that everyone's like, oh my God, we're going to just release everybody. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah, but did you see how many people are mentally ill that are in prison right now?
No, I know, but the act that you endorsed actually says release everyone in 10 years.
But in 10 years, but think about it, who will release
But there are like human traffickers.
Oh, I know.
Child sex. So, but you're saying, do you mean that you don't actually support that? Because you endorse the bill.
No, I endorse the Breathe Act and looking at the policies and how we incarcerate. Absolutely.
But it says in there.
But you cannot just blanketly say, "Oh, look, she wants." That's not what I'm.
But that's like in plain text. But
what I'm saying,
it says it in the bill, and this is a left-leaning media organization that is questioning her sanity in trying to put this bill up for any kind of debate. All right, and it says there in plain language, release every goddamn prisoner out there in America. And as you can see, she's trying to say that she didn't say that, even though it says it in the damn bill. So either she's lying and trying to, smooth over that very incendiary language, releasing all prisoners in America, or she's stupid and has never read the fucking bill and just said, was just given it to by staffers or by people in the DNC. Hey, support this, sponsor this and try to put this up for debate. Either way, it underscores why I'm saying that women leadership is something that America needs to step away from. I'm sorry, whenever there's a woman that's on any kind of a political ticket, I think people need to walk away. People need to walk away and look the other direction. And hold on, Kits, I'm going to get to yours in just a second. A little bit more of this interview. But once again, I just want to put this as a point of emphasis. Aside from the women thing, this is who we're electing into office. People that are maybe less intelligent than you are, even if you're at the borderline of mediocrity at this point. This is who's representing us. A little bit more. Go ahead.
Look at who's in prison now. No, look at the folks that are mentally ill, that have substance abuse problems.
But I'm not disagreeing with you that there are people who
Yeah, but then
be
why
in
aren't you asking me about them? You're asking me about the human traffickers and others that should
I'm trying to understand. No. What I'm trying to understand is your proposal is so sweeping. It does release everyone. And what I'm trying to say to you is
within 10 years, and obviously there's a process of looking at how can we get away from mass incarceration and move towards care first.
But what I'm trying to understand, because it is such a sweeping, concrete proposal, do you believe that there are still categories of people who should be behind bars?
There are absolutely folks that I don't I don't know, because right now the way the prison system is supposed to be like rehabilitatory, it's supposed to be rehabilitation.
Rehabilitatory?
Right? No, really, that's how
I understand.
I don't think there's any rehabilitation happening right now for those that might actually I
can't take this anymore, but this is what is representing us out here in America. And, whether you think it's a woman issue or whatever, all right, who the hell is voting for this dingbat? All right, who's electing this absolute airhead who can't even explain in explicit detail why she's putting up such a bill for debate? It's pathetic. All right, this is what's representing us out here, and that's why I'm not so jovial about the 2024 elections, all right? All right, doesn't matter who you vote for at this point in time. This damn election is going to make every American take it up the tailpipe. And it's unbelievable. I can't believe that this is representing us. Unbelievable. And what's going on to Colonel Transisco with an Injagini? Bring back gold and silver standards. Gold and silver are the only real money. All else is debt. Let's not have that debate. All right, I've already had that debate a million times. I don't really want to have that debate. But let me go ahead and take some other donations here that came in through Buy Me a Coffee. And let me acknowledge those. So cheers to everybody out there. Put the PC shot on. We had Count Binface say, typical cracker, I'll have you know, I am upon the Ghost Show in my intergalactic starship, and I'm ready to crash your economy by introducing bin bucks. Buy them now, buy them lads, and we will show this geezer who is the real political figure. One vote for me is one vote for bin dependence. Now, I know that's a little bit of a facetious, little bit of a troll there, Count Binface. I'm going to actually talk a little bit about the UK later on. So we'll discuss that in a little bit. And we got Fallen Dawn. Stop hoarding your tobacco and take a smoke for the real vets, baby. Cheers. Well, since you put me on the spot, I so happen to have my pipe of tobacco right here. I don't want to tell you what strain of tobacco because it's probably a little obscene. But cheers to Fallen Dawn, and cheers to all the veterans. And, of course, cheers to those that make the ultimate sacrifice and the reason why we have the great freedoms and the opportunities that we take for granted, many of us take for granted, in this fucking country. All right, cheers to them, and cheers to every one of you. Let me go ahead for Fallen Dawn and everybody out there who's a vet in this country. and those that have fallen, man. Cheers to all of you. Now, this is not illegal contraband, all right? Just FYI, all right? All right, I shouldn't be doing too much of that anyway. And we got Kits. He said, you know what? You always shit-talk the GOP and the Democucks. I hate them too, but the Libertarian Party might as well, considering Chase Oliver Baguette they just elected. Now, you know what? I'll actually look at that link in a little bit, Kits. I'm about to talk about that here in a minute. All right, but once again, for those of us that saw this ridiculous interview, this is once again what's representing us in Congress. And I think that we need to have a serious conversation on who the hell is representing us, for Christ's sake. Now, since Kits brought it up, let's go ahead and talk about it, because the Libertarian Party actually had its convention here this weekend. And guess who decided to show up? Donald Trump himself. All right? Now, I don't know why he attended this. I mean, this looks like a little bit of an act of desperation, if you want my opinion. But I have no idea why the hell he went there, because I think that he humiliated himself, if you want my personal opinion. Trump is booed and screamed at through the Libertarian National Convention speech. All right, let me see if they play it here. Let's see if they show it here.
Combined with us in a partnership, we're asking that of the Libertarians. We must work together. Combine with us. You have to combine with us. We cannot give crooked Joe Biden 4 more years. We cannot give crooked Joe Biden 4 more years. Anyone can talk about defending freedom, but I've actually put everything on the line to resist these despots and these stuff.
I mean, I don't know if y'all saw this speech, but he was booed throughout the whole damn speech. And I find it ironic because, in my opinion, I think the Libertarian Party would be somewhat entertained by the, some of the things that Trump has put out. I mean, he was actually at that speech trying to throw shit at a wall to see what sticks. He said that he's going to, make Bitcoin legal and untaxable. And what's going on, Enigma? I'll get to the donos in just a second. But he said that he's going to release the guy from the Silk Road thing. I mean, he tried to throw everything, but no matter what he said, everybody was still booing him.
And I stand before you tonight as your best hope of defeating the weaponized Biden. United, we will be unstoppable. If we unite, we are unstoppable. I will be a true friend to libertarians in the White House.
Man, and look at Trump having to just eat shit in that. I mean, I have never seen Trump, in my opinion, look like Pete Rose right after he got busted with the gambling scandal. I mean, I don't know if y'all remember Pete Rose. He used to look like a very badass, manly-looking son of a bitch. Then when he got busted as being a degenerate gambler and gambling on his own team when he was a manager, for Christ's sake, he had that degenerate look like he had just got caught with a 10-year-old in a fucking closet or something that never left his face, all right? I mean, Trump is starting to look like that, and it's fucking humiliating. It's humiliating, for Christ's sake. Why in the hell would he even be at this stupid libertarian convention? They barely get 3%. Why the fuck would he even be there? It is a sign of desperation, and once again, which is why I did not really want Trump as the nominee for the GOP. I mean, good God. Anyway, Kits wanted me to take a look at the current elected libertarian candidate, by the way, and he just so happens to be a Pete Buttigieg variant. And here he is. I think this is an interview. Cheers to Kits. Put the PC shot on. Here is who the Libertarians put forth as their candidate. Let's go ahead and play this. All right, here it is.
Why do you think that the drag queens want to read to children?
Because I think that they are performance artists and they want to be able to have different levels of performance art. It's the same reason as why do the Wiggles sing to children? Because they want to have a marketplace for kids.
God.
Chase,
they want to be able to.
This is what the Libertarians are representing as their candidate right here. Somebody who is equating the adult entertainment that is dragism or drag queenism or whatever the hell it is, and trying to create it like it's performance art, like it's the Wiggles, for Christ's sake, huh? Mosh banana, mosh banana, mosh banana, mosh banana, mosh banana, mosh banana, 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 mashed potato, mashed potato. Give me a break.
The Wiggles is made for children. It's obviously family friendly material. Drag queens are not what you call family friendly kind of entertainment.
Okay, but a man in a dress is what drag is, right?
Well, technically. All right, but a drag show, I don't know if you've ever seen one. Unfortunately, I've seen so many because they've been captured on video and have been making the viral rounds out here. I mean, they're very adult in their performance art. All right, and look, I have no problem with anyone who's over the age of 18 that's in an establishment where this is happening. I have no problem with that, but when you start exposing children, and it doesn't matter if it's drag queens, it doesn't matter if it's strippers, I don't care who it is. No children should be exposed to any kind of sexual persuasion, sexual suggestion, or sexuality. And here's the libertarian candidate who, by the way, we just saw Trump trying to court these people who elected this fucking weirdo. All right? This is his explanation.
Let's just be real. A man in a dress or a woman in a suit is what drag is. Mm-hmm. That is not inherently sexual. There is inherently sexual drag. And you're not going to convince me. I mean, I'm not going to defend otherwise. There absolutely is. But there's also the ability to perform as a man in a wig without being sexual. And that is what this is. And I guarantee you, if you act like I said, I went for myself because I was like, why are there people protesting this thing? I want to see what this drag queen story time is myself, and I want to see what it is. And nothing sexual was going on. And I think that is the truth for 99% of this.
Anybody defending drag queens reading to children, they shouldn't be taken seriously at all. All right? They shouldn't be taken seriously at all because children, they shouldn't even be forced to ask the question, why is it that this manly sounding freaky clown dressed up is a semblance of a woman, why is this person reading to me and what is this all about? And if you take a look at some of the reading material that many of these drag queens like to read to these children, you can't tell me that it's not grooming.
And I think
would you take your kids to a drag queen story hour? Or would you drop them off at a drag queen story hour
I don't think that's what happens. Most of the time the parents are right there with the kids. But
I'm asking you, would you drop your kids off at a drag queen story hour and come back an hour later?
I mean, would you drop your kids off in a movie? Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. You see what I'm saying about the political landscape of America today? It doesn't matter where you turn. I mean, we're getting the same shit, different plate, as far as I'm concerned. And the Republicans aren't much better on this either. I've told you time and time again, it seems as if the Republicans are taking a soft stance when it comes to exposing sexuality to children. I don't want to replay the Dennis Prager interview where he justified Lolly, which is sexually depicted children in animation, and how he justified that crap. So we're not in a good place politically, folks, and this is why I am kind of abstaining, with the exception of maybe a few local and maybe state elections. I am abstaining from most of the federal election because I refuse to waste my vote on a bunch of people who think that these types of things are okay. All right? That exposing sexuality to children is okay. I refuse to do that. We, on the Republican side, have to have some semblance of morality, and this is what I am hoping, because we're going to lose the election in 2024, all right? We're going to lose. And what I'm hoping is those of us that still have moral principle and fiscal conservatism and conservative values, we can come in and take control of the damn party and reestablish the value system of what the damn party means. We got to have something. I keep telling people that, look, I get it. We're in Rome right now, all right? A lot of decadence going on, all right? A lot of freak show things going on. I get it. And the youth have already been anesthetized with it. I've already told you that 1 in 4 kids under the age of 18 already identify as LGBTQ. All right, so you have to work around that, and the way you do so is by saying, all right, look, we're not going to push any of this hardcore conservative stuff that has basically forced many of these disenchanted individuals into these subgroups, like LGBTQ, like two-spirited, like non-binary, whatever the hell it is. And we need to recognize that these are statistical facts. Many, not all, but many of these folks that are within the LGBTQ have been molested as children. And what we need to do is we need to put a point of emphasis that, hey, we're the party that are going to protect children, man. All right? We're the party that are going to make sure whatever happened to you and made you so sexually broken, it doesn't happen to this fucking young person or these young people or these children. We're going to make sure that that's what the party should be. Let's go back to brass tacks. Let's go back to the fucking roots of morality and values in this country. All right? Anybody who's against shielding children from sexuality, sexual suggestion, or sexual persuasion, you need to look at them cross-eyed. You shouldn't trust those people with your dog. And that's why those of us that are still adults in the room, we need to take over the party. All right, and that's what we're waiting for. 2024, when we lose and the MAGA people have been voted out of office, we, on the Republican side, we need to go to all the Republican headquarters all across the country. And we need to start taking over the damn party. And we need to start asserting that anybody who runs under the GOP ticket has to have certain fucking values. And one of them is shielding children from sexuality. Jesus Christ, I mean, I can't believe we're even having a debate about this crap. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Excuse my French, folks. Oh, my God. And Colonel Transisco, the phrase family-friendly drag show is an oxymoron promoted by morons. No kids should see drag shows. They shouldn't see any sexuality. I mean, these LGBTQ folks are making it seem that those of us that are against this drag shit are also anti-gay. I don't give a goddamn what you people do in the privacy of your own home or in the privacy of your over 18 of age clubs, but by God, we as regular decent people in regular society have to put a stop in allowing this drag show, freak show clownism to be perpetuated in regular everyday America. All right? It's got to go back in the fucking closet if you want my personal opinion, all right? We shouldn't be seeing drag queens walking around in the shopping malls if you want my personal opinion. All right? Now look, if you're trans, well, then you have to step your game up, all right?
Buy that for
if you're trans, if you look passable, then we wouldn't be talking about it, right? If you're a passable tranny, which once upon a time, that's what trannies used to be about. It used to be about being passable. Now, any idiot with a Fu Manchu and a wig on and a dress can call themselves a goddamn tranny, which is ridiculous. All right? So we got to have some standards here when it comes to conservatism as far as I'm concerned. And all of you that are out there thinking that life is but a dream and you can have no standards and run on, I don't know, a cult of personality like Trump, you're sadly mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. Anyway, let me get to some of these donations here, folks. My apologies. Put the PC shot on. We've got, correction, I meant to say the Libertarian Party is just as bad. Thank you, Kits. Cheers to you. And Enigma, happy Memorial Day, Ghost. Thanks to all who served. I work tonight as our clients are always expecting deliveries. A perk of my job includes a $260 bonus for working federal holidays. So I'll close out tonight making nearly $600. That's going to buy a lot of anime girl posters. Oh, great. You said an anime girl poster. That's another thing. That's another thing. Anyway, cheers. I'll catch the rest of the show on my next days off. Also, how do I get to the TCR chat room? Well, I'm glad you say that, man. All right, Enigma. I mean, you know, you got the $10 membership, you got the $25 membership. I do caution anybody who does want to join the True Capitalist Radio membership, which is exclusivity into the chat room, which is on the screen right there. There's not going to be any, drama, no kind of internet drama, none of that. Anybody doing any of that in that chat room is kicked the hell out. All right? And don't call it a safe space either, all right? I'm tired of people using my community as their fucking breeding ground, as a meat market for them to find troll marks. And that ain't that show, all right? True Capitalist Radio is not that type of show. Anyway, thank you, Enigma. Cheers to you, and I hope everything's going good for you, man. I'm glad that you're balling, all right? Let's see, J-Sev, I've seen so many drag show. Man, that is sussy as fuck, Ghost. Someone clip that. Dude, I mean, they're on TV, for Christ's sake. All right, what are you talking about? They're on TV. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Fallen Dawn, stop shouting. You're going to blow out your colon. Great. I thought I just took a smoke with you, by the way. I take it back, you fucking prick. And punishment for no-shows. Peppermint here. Why are you so critical of Kennedy? He is the only sensible candidate out there of the two major duopolies. He criticizes Trump for Operation Warp Speed, as it has fucked over the Bill of Rights. And RFK Jr. is also a sensible option. Don't simply be a Republican. The party is destroyed. Be an independent. With both presidents failing their country, I know who I'm voting for in the elections. I'm giving the third-party candidate a chance. Now, look, I will give RFK all the credit in the world for doing what he did during COVID. All right? If it wasn't for him, if it wasn't for Rand Paul, if it wasn't for Ron DeSantis, even Ron DeSantis, I'll give him some credit, we would still be living under this COVID nightmare. And believe it or not, I even donated to, and I don't donate to nonprofits. You know me, I think nonprofits are a goddamn scam. But I donated to his Children's Health Fund because he was the only guy going from state to state suing for these draconian mask laws and these vax laws. He was the only one doing that. So I'll give him credit. And that's what I give him his credit for. But as far as a candidate for some kind of office, I don't think so. There's a lot of reasons. First of all, I do not like his foreign policy. Secondly, I do not like, his environmental stance. Not to say I'm anti-environmentalist. He's just trying to use the government in order to enforce a lot of this Green New Deal crap, which I'm not down with. All right? I'm not down with. And third, I don't like when Luke Rudandowski, by the way, Luke Rudandowski, one of the most underrated political figures in the scene out here. It's a shame that Luke Rudandowski has to play second to that stupid fucking condom head idiot Tim Pool. But Rudandowski asked him about Epstein, and I tweeted about this earlier this morning, and I didn't really like his response, all right? So let me go ahead and play that. All right, I'm not going to play it all, but let's go ahead and play that because I had no idea that RFK had this close of a connection to Epstein. Why is it? Why is it that everybody has a connection to Epstein? I have no idea. Things that make you go, play it. All right, here it is. Luke Rudandowski. I got to ask Robert Kennedy Jr. about Epstein. What do you think of this answer? Let's play a little bit of it. Here it is.
You wanted to ask about the CIA or Epstein?
Well, there's a lot of things. The two kind of connect because the intel agencies.
Well, we'll start with one.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
The intel agencies were extensively running an extortion operation on a lot of high-profile politicians through Jeffrey Epstein. You talked about flying on his airplane before. Is there anything else you could tell us? Since there's individuals like Cindy McCain that have come out and talked about how everyone knew what he was doing. He was hiding in plain sight, that people were afraid of him. Is there anything else you could tell us, as there's some speculation about some people saying that you might be getting extorted potentially yourself?
No, I mean, I've been very open and frank about my experience with Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a figure in New York. My wife had a relationship with my wife who took her own life in 2014. Had a relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, I think.
Now, did you hear that? That his ex-wife had a relationship with Epstein, and she took her own life in 2014. Kind of glossed over that. I'm like, whoa! All right, so that right there, got me looking a little, weird at RFK after that.
Through my wife's old fiance, who had been a Greek, who had been raised in Britain. And on one occasion, in 1993, either she asked or Glenn offered her a ride. My wife.
Now, I'll be honest with you. This guy is sounding like a murder suspect trying to give a fake alibi. No offense to RFK. I mean, he's pretty audacious about what he has to say about things, even though he talks like, I don't know, he's a fucking throat cancer victim or something. But still, he's trying to bebop all over the place here. Just a little bit more.
I wanted to go down to visit my mother on Christmas with our kids. And and she said that Glenn had offered her a ride on the plane because they went down there from New York to Palm Beach every weekend. So I wrote on that. We were on there. I was on there with my wife and my children, 2 children. Mary was pregnant at the time. And then I took a second plane ride, I think a year later. We went to South Dakota for the day to do fossil hunting. And this
dude, he's already said that he's been on Jeffrey Epstein's plane here. Between that, he's already said he's taken like 3 trips on the Epstein plane. I don't know if y'all have heard that. I mean, this is why. This is another reason why. I don't know. I mean, would you want your president to be talking like this? I mean, no offense, RFK Jr., no offense.
This was 13 years before anybody knew anything about Jeffrey Epstein. To me, I didn't know anything about him at that time. I had a conversation on that airplane that made me think that, and I saw him do something on that airplane ride to South Dakota that made me think that he was a very bad person.
What did you see?
See, this is what we were just talking about this when you were in the bathroom. There's a lot of accounts of people saying he did really awful stuff.
Well, why don't we hear what he said?
Yeah, I know, and I'm leading up to it.
Well, I mean, it's kind of gossipy, but I was asking him how he made his money, and he told me because he said that he had been a math teacher at Dalton, which was a school I knew about in New York. I don't know much about it, but I know it's a school for wealthy
Bill
kids.
Barr's father put him in there.
Right, come on. Yeah, so he told me a story.
I mean, do you see this, man? Tim Pool is the biggest piece of fucking garbage, man. Luke Rudandowski has done so much for... Look, I don't agree with all of what Luke Rudandowski represents. I think he's some kind of fucking libertarian anarchist or some shit. But this guy, Luke Rudandowski, you need to look this guy up. He's the only guy that has put cameras in the faces of many of these elites that many people criticize out here. I mean, he went up to Kissinger when he was going to get the Medal of Freedom at the event and told him that the fucking Medal of Freedom was a lie and that he knows that he's a war criminal. And I mean, dude, he has done shit. He confronted Larry Silverstein when he was, discussing something in front of the media. This guy went up to Lord Jacob Rothschild. All right, which was a very freaky confrontation because he told Rothschild, hey, the globalists will never prevail. The people are going to stand up. We're not going to take the globalism. And Lord Jacob Rothschild looked at him and smiled. Like, what are you going to do about it? So Luke Rudandowski, dude, deserves more credit. Why he's playing second fiddle to Tim Pool, it just makes me want to puke. Fuck you, Tim Pool, you fucking piece of shit.
That seemed to me not credible. He said he was, and I said, okay, because I knew he owned a city block in New York, and that he was, to me, the only thing I really knew about him was he was the money manager for Les Wexler, right, who owns the Limited. And that's all I knew about him at the time. And of course, he's a big shot at New York. He goes to the Robin Hood dinner, which is, they raise $40 million a night, and he was one of the big donors there. So people knew him. If you went out, you could see him, Anyway, I asked him, how did you, go from being a math teacher at Dalton to, having all this money? And he said that he'd been approached by some Chinese businessmen and that they had been ripped off by a con artist in the United States. And they asked him to find the con artist. and he was succeeded in doing that, and that led to other opportunities. That's what he told me.
Wow.
And that made me think.
What? I mean, come on. I mean, you believe that? I mean, this sounds like a fucking concocted story, if you want my opinion. All right? Because everybody knew Jeffrey Epstein. Remember, I've showed you clips where Donald Trump and him were partying in Mar-a-Lago in '93. So everybody knew what the fuck Jeffrey Epstein was about. All right, and this guy's trying to claim that, you know, he got so close to Epstein, he went on his plane several times, he even talked to him and pretended that he didn't know what he did. Give me a break, dude. Look, this is why, all right, it's hard for me, aside from the other things that I listed, to even entertain RFK as a legitimate candidate.
That he was lying.
Yeah, of course.
So, and then I asked him about a stock. And this is the first time I've ever met him. And he said, I never invest in stocks unless I have inside information. So I'm an attorney. I was a district attorney. And he says this to me. And, you know, so it's a weird thing.
Yeah.
He was grooming you there, supposedly, right? Come on, man. I mean, Jeffrey Epstein's dead, so we're not going to get the secondhand account, but...
Do you think he felt untouchable?
What?
Like he said that to you knowing that you were a district attorney. He's like...
I wasn't at that time, but, you know, it's an odd thing to tell me.
Yeah.
A stranger who, you know, you don't know.
But you're on his plane. You're on his fucking plane. This conversation, supposedly, at least according to you there, RFK, happened on his fucking plane.
Unless you're really confident you don't get in trouble.
I mean, why are you using a guy's plane you don't know? That makes no sense. All right, I didn't really know the guy. I didn't give me a break. But hey, I used his plane a few times. Get the fuck out of here.
Right?
Were there any young children there?
No, I never. You know, my kids were there, but on all my flights, the 4 flights, which are back and forth.
No, now there's a 4th flight. I counted 3 flights in that story. He just slipped in another flight.
Palm Beach and back and forth from Rapid City. My kids were on board on all of them. But then we touched down we were supposed to go from Rapid City to New York City. And instead the plane landed.
I mean, this is a lot of explanation in order to just say, look, I took a couple of flights. I didn't really know what he was about, and that was that. This guy is like somebody in the middle of a murder confession trying to come up with an alibi. I'm not fucking joking around.
Landed in Chicago, which was unannounced, and he never told us he was landing in Chicago.
Oh, he never told me we were landing in Chicago. He didn't tell us.
And he said when we landed in Chicago, and I'm looking out and saying, this is not New York, and I didn't recognize it because it wasn't O'Hare. It was the other little airport.
Midway.
Yeah, Midway.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. But he's landing in a private jet, and I think there's private jets. That's where they go in.
There's a few smaller regional ones. Midway's.
It may have been those.
Yeah.
I don't know where it was, but it wasn't O'Hare.
Was it
Chicago?
Was it surrounded by gray walls?
I don't remember.
He doesn't remember. He doesn't remember. What are you talking about? He doesn't remember, Tim Pool. Anyway, cheers to Ditario, and let me get to some of these donos. We got Cat Cans with a Rumble rant. You should watch the video of Eric Weinstein talking about his meeting with Epstein. It's very dramatic and obnoxious, but quite significant. Well, thank you, Cat Cans. Eric Weinstein. I got to take a look at that one, man. Cheers to you. And Aesthetic Cap, Tim Pool is the review bra of political commentary. He deliberately stretches out his videos. There's like 1 or 2 minutes of content. The rest is pauses and annoying filler. Yeah, I don't understand who still watches this guy. If you're watching Tim Pool for any kind of news and information, you're a fucking idiot. But anyway, once again, he doesn't remember old RFK. He doesn't remember about anything, even though he flew on now 4 admitted Jeffrey Epstein flights. He doesn't remember a damn thing. So that's his story, and I guess he's sticking with it, right? But anyway, let's go ahead and make a transition, all right? No pun intended, because we still got a lot to talk about out here. And let's make a transition into international relations. Now, folks, it seems to me that things are now shifting once again. And this is the everlasting game of international relations. Now, let me explain. Now, remember, I think it was 2 weeks ago, we saw that Russia's President Vladimir Putin went to go visit Xi Jinping in China. And I told everybody that that was pure optics. That there is no legitimate.
Buy that for $1.
There is no legitimate. Oh yeah, I gotta put. Hold on, before I get to that, I gotta get to some of these donos on Buy Me a Coffee. My apologies, dude. Let me see. Put the PC shot on here because we gotta get to some of these. My apologies, man. All right, we're gonna get to some international relations right after this. All right, let's see here. Put the PC shot on. All right, we did hear your RFK. I rebutted this there. Punishment for no shows. And hold on, what is this? Is this a script? What the hell is this? Funny moments, ghosted in Quahog. Or did you actually write a script? Man, you people are fucking insane, dude. All right, look, this is the True Capitalist radio show. This is not the Ghost Show. Anyway, Count Binface, you will broadcast my manifesto against that bitch Liz Truss, who thinks she can win us back. No way, Jose. This is the year of the bin. A cabbage beat her. A bin galactic space lord will win against her. Vote. God bless the United Kingdom and fuck U.S. Memorial. Did you hear this fucking guy? A vote for me is a vote for bin dependence. I will take the piss out of the Thames River and make ghosts take a dip in it. That's great, all right? RFK sounds like he's constipated, slam the ham, real funny. And then we got Geno X 1987. I have an easier time understanding Stone Santa than this guy. I think he's making reference to RFK. And we got Jatario with the beer, man. Cheers to you. All right, happy Carpet Munchin' Monday. And we got Kirk Johnson here. Kirk Johnson said the phrase trans kids is also a oxymoron because their brains are barely developed. They don't immediately know what they want out of life, and it's going to take them and their life to. It's going to take their entire life, to find out what the fuck they are and what they aspire to be. We need to start teaching them about themselves. I think that goes without saying. I think adults need to find out who they are as well, as opposed to pushing this tranny shit on them. All these kids undergo all these transgendered operations, surgeries especially, but even the hormone treatments can fuck you up, are going to be in for a rude awakening. The tranny suicide rate will increase in the coming years once it falls out of fashion like emo shit did after the 2000s. Yeah, no shit. I'd argue that the tranny is worse since the emos only cut their arms while trannies fuck up their entire bodies.
For $1.
All right, fuck up the entire bodies. Read the script. Jesus Christ. Anyway, if there's anyone who trans kids need to be protected from, it's these sickos. I apologize for the huge leftist walls of text, but I'm just sick of how rampantly normalized this degeneracy is getting. The who pushed transgendered ideology into kids or are complicit in doing so and need to be charged with child endangerment. Happy Memorial Day and cheers, by the way, all right? And Urinator, thoughts on Tim Pool interviewing Trump? I think it's desperation by Trump, for Christ's sake. What kind of supporters does Tim Pool have, honestly? Huh? I mean, what kind of douchebag wannabe political assholes does he actually have listening to him? Anyway, we got Funny Moments who hooked it up with 3 beers and wanted me to fucking read that stupid fucking script. I guess I got to here. All right? Let's read this script. I don't know. I guess this is the next Academy Award winning cartoon or some shit. Title, Ghosted in Quahog. Introduction, Drunken Clam, Night. These guys, Peter, Quagmire, Cleveland, and Joe, are sitting around the table as usual, sipping beers. Peter, hey guys, I heard to hear about this ghost who runs True Capitalist Radio. Quagmire, Gatey, I've heard of him. Isn't he the guy who rages all the time? Peter, yeah, that's the one. Apparently, he had a bad experience at the old San Francisco steakhouse. Joe, what happened? Peter, well, the word is on the street that he ordered a steak well done, and he brought it out to him medium rare. He lost his mind. He started screaming about it. Cleveland, I guess he died. Oh, excuse me. I guess he doesn't like steak with a little pink. Quagmire, sounds like my dates. Giggity. Introduction, Old San Francisco Steakhouse Day flashback scene, all right? Ghost sits at a table, eye twitching as he cuts into his steak. Angrily, Ghost says, I asked for well done. This is practically mooing. The waiter, I'm sorry, sir. I'll fix this right away. Ghost slams his fist on the table. You're ruining America. Intro into the drunken clam. Peter, so I had this brilliant idea. What if we mess with him a little bit? You know, like have some fun. Joe, that doesn't sound like the worst idea I've ever had. Quagmire, giggity, count me in. And we've got Cleveland. I don't know, guys. He seems a little mean-spirited. Peter, come on, Cleveland. It's just a prank, bro. They all share a mischievous look. Cut into exit Griffin's house daytime. Peter, Quagmire, and Cleveland and Joe are huddled around the computer in the living room. Peter, all right, I found Ghost Show online. Let's give him a taste of quahog humor. They dial into Ghost Show. Ghost, you're on the air. What's your beef? Yeah, Ghost, a big fan here. Just wanted to say, I like my steaks with a little life left in them. What the hell are you talking about? Ghost says. Ghost, it's me, your long-lost cousin from Quahog, Quah Guy. Ghost confused. I don't have a cousin named Quah Guy. Cleveland, well, now you do. They burst out in laughter. Ghost rages. Cut to the intro of Drunken Clam at Night. The guys are the guys are back at the table laughing. Joe, that was kind of funny. Peter, I told you, we call it at night. But I got the feeling Ghost is going to have a lot more to say about Quahog. Quagmire, giggity, can't wait for what he thinks of us, and then fade out. All right, thank you. All right, there it is. All right. Impromptu fucking improv. And look at this, five-finger prostate punch. Here's $5 to stop reading this trash. Hey, I mean, you know, they want me to read it, all right? Anyway, now that we got that out of the way, I know it was crap, but somebody donated like 4 beers for it, so, you know, there it is. Let's go ahead and take another transition, no pun intended, into international relations, all right? Now, as I was stating before I got interrupted by a lot of donos here, that there is a shift in the global state of affairs. Now, I told each and every one of you that international relations is like a Mexican standoff where every country has a gun to another country's head. And everybody's got a gun to their head and say, look, you do this, all right? You kill me. I got this guy. He's got a gun to your head. And yeah, so let's play it cool, okay? Everything all right? That's literally what international relations was, all right? Now, folks, let me explain how things are shifting very, very quickly. Now, first and foremost, Putin puts a point of emphasis once again here recently that he's open to peace talks. But Ukraine is right to be wary. Now, this is the second time that Putin has reiterated that he is open to peace talks. Now, the last time I had reported on this, the report was that Putin wanted whatever was settled, like whatever was already taken by Russian forces, and we'll leave well enough alone. That's the stipulation. That's the stipulation, all right? Now, obviously, that's not going to be on the table. So Putin, believe it or not, he's actually compromising here.
I'd buy that for $1.
He's actually compromising here. Now, take a look at this. The Reuters news agency cited 4 sources in a report from 2 deeply experienced and connected with Russian reporters that Moscow was willing to reconsider peace talks, which would freeze the current Russian occupation about a fifth of Ukraine. Okay? So what they want is that the idea floated is that the report would stop short of Moscow's stated goal of capturing East Donetsk, or Donetsk. Okay, so that's the compromise here. All right, because they've already captured this part of Eastern Donetsk, and they're willing to kind of pull back from that. At least that's what the reports are. So once again, this is a second reiteration by Putin that he's willing to come to the negotiating table. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because I do think that after the meeting between Putin and Xi Jinping a couple of weeks ago, and how Putin left empty-handed, I think that this is changing the whole dynamic of this particular region. All right? But with that being said, every time Putin does come out and say, hey, I'm open for peace talks, he has to look like he's still talking from a level of power, right? So what is he doing? He's threatening the UK. Take a look at this. Russia says it will strike British targets if UK weapons are used in its territory. Now, believe it or not, NATO here recently suggested that United States weapons should be used inside of Russian territory. So as you can see, I've been talking about it. NATO is really talking very hawkishly about a potential confrontation with Russia. Now, once again, this may be all posturing here, but as I was stating, Russia is now openly willing to capitulate if the other side is willing to sit down and have a legitimate negotiation. All right? Now, maybe it's because Putin isn't really having that good a time out there on the battlefield, especially in this Kharkiv offensive, that was supposed to take the enemy, which was Ukraine, by surprise. Take a look at this. Zelensky says Ukraine has taken back control in areas of Kharkiv region. Only the aerial attacks continue. Only the aerial attacks continue. So they're still bombing the hell out of the place. But the offensive that was ground-induced didn't do anything. So it was all for naught. So maybe that's a little bit of the reason why Putin is once again reiterating that he's open for a peace negotiation. All right, so once again, this is a big shift going on. A big shift going on here. Now, that being said, Ukraine, after this peace deal, once again, every time remember, the Russians did this last summer and tried to entertain, hey, we're ready to come back to the negotiating table. Remember Lavrov, and let me see if I can pull that one up. Lavrov last year said that he was willing, or at least Russia was willing, to give Crimea back to Ukraine if the Ukrainians would just make sure that they never enter NATO. And they refused to do it. I'm not even joking around. So, I can't find the article, but that was last year that I reported that the Russians were willing to give back Crimea. They just don't want Ukraine to join NATO. Well, anyway, after this reiteration of a peace plan that was proposed by Putin, Ukraine strikes on Russian nuclear radar system, which has alarmed the West. Now, you see, why would that alarm the West if we are trying to deplete Russia in its natural resources? Because now that Putin has now finally come to his senses, we're now entertaining, and I'm talking the West, we're entertaining the possibility of him taking that offer of a peace deal. Now, why is this all of a sudden on the table? The reason is, folks, is because of that damn meeting between Putin and Xi Jinping. Nothing culminated after that, and I'm going to get to Xi Jinping in a minute, but lest we forget, right after that meeting, Xi Jinping makes this very aggressive stance against Taiwan by doing these military drills off the coast of the island. So what that represents, folks, is that, like I said, China and Russia are not together. As a matter of fact, they have their own independent imperialistic ideas. All right? Russia wants to take over Ukraine and other parts of Europe that they think is theirs, and so does China. And China doesn't have the natural resources, or the military resources, I should say, to be able to supply Russia with their endeavor when China has to be armed to the teeth for their potential imperialistic endeavor, which is Taiwan, maybe even more. So that's why now the CIA is taking another approach at this point when it comes to Russia and Putin and their potential for a ceasefire in Ukraine. Now, whether or not Zelensky is going to take it, that's a whole other question. Because remember, I've told you ever since the beginning of this whole offensive that Zelensky should have taken a defensive approach to the invasion. He didn't. He took an offensive approach, trying to fight the Russians head on, and now he's finding himself without too much men on his side. I mean, I don't know if y'all seen, they're forcing guys out there in Ukraine to go into the front lines. So, very interesting developments out here, especially after the meeting between Xi Jinping and Putin. And Real Female with a Rumble rant. Thoughts on Pride Month on Saturday? I mean, didn't they say there's going to be a potential terrorist attack inspired by one of the Islamic variant terrorist groups on a Pride event? I think I've told many people many times, probably going to be in a big city, maybe LA, maybe New York, maybe Austin. But what's that going to do? That will, those that are pro-Palestine, those that are pro-Islamic terrorists typically are on the LGBTQ side. So when that happens, I'm sure that it'll change a lot of those on that side to think a little bit differently on this subject. All right, now we'll just leave it at that. Now, Ukraine strikes Russia's nuclear radar system. All right, now you've got NATO telling Ukraine to use American weapons, American armaments inside the borders of Russia. And now you've got NATO announcing a drone wall against Russia as a kind of border defense. Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Poland, and Finland and Norway are joining forces to build a drone wall to protect their borders. So I'm telling y'all right now, there is a lot of trajectory for us to go into a global conflict here. All right, and that should be another factor for everybody's financial planning for their future, if you want my opinion. All right, and like I said, if anybody is going to confront anybody, it's going to be Russia and Europe. And if there is a confrontation between them two, that's what we want. Because we certainly don't want the European Union getting any bigger than the United States. We certainly don't want Russia getting any bigger or any more of a superpower than the United States. Neither is China. So this is why we have this foreign policy. And a Real Female with a Rumble rant. Thoughts on ending world hunger by killing pedophiles and feeding them the... You're a sick piece of crap. Aesthetic Cap. I have mixed feelings on transgenderism. While I think it's sick and what they do exposing children to it, it does take some people out of the gene pool. Why I also tactically support abortion, too. Well, thank you for sharing, all right? Thank you for sharing there, Aesthetic. Then we got Vox Artificial. Throw all neocons into a vat of acid. Okay, great. All right. Anyway, as I was stating, it looks like the posturing continues between NATO and Russia. And Russia said something very interesting. It had that attack by ISIS. What was it, last month or earlier this month? I forgot when it was. And it was ISIS that is taking credit for it. We've talked a lot about this particular concert ISIS terrorist act in Russia and Moscow. Well, take a look at what the Russian spy chief said. The U.S. and U.K. are creating Al-Qaeda and Daesh fighters. Huh? So they already know what we're doing. All right? So does China. They already know what we're doing. But what are they going to do about it? They can't do anything about it. And that's why, going back to this, either ISIS, Al-Qaeda, or don't count out Hamas, but it's probably going to be ISIS or Al-Qaeda terrorist act on American soil at an LGBTQ event, because we have to give the optics that we have nothing to do with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Yeah, we have nothing to do with that. Look, they're hitting us up. What are you talking about? We have nothing to do with that. And a Real Female said, thoughts on Louisiana passing a bill to deport any immigrants without federal authorization. Sucks it's not in my state. Well, Louisiana's doing a lot of shit, man. But once again, going back to Russian spy chief accusing the U.S. and the U.K. of creating Al-Qaeda and Daesh fighters are the equivalent of the ISIS-K. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell all of you? You all knew this years ago if you were listening to this broadcast. All right, I told all of you that the United States and its terrorist satellites are Al-Qaeda and ISIS. What do you think the whole goddamn, 7 or 8 trillion we spent on the war on terror, what do you think it went to? It went to creating these organizations, training these people, and making them into brutal killers that we can send to any of our foes at will. And Vox Artificial said, if what you're saying is true, we need an international military intervention against the CIA. Are you kidding me? The CIA is the only reason that many of you can fucking walk around and go to anime cons and VTuber cons and comic cons freely in the safety of this country without some fucking jihadist coming in there and fucking detonate himself. What the fuck you talking about? Fucking idiot. Anyway, once again, Russian spy chief accuses U.S. and U.K. of creating Al-Qaeda and Daesh. No kidding. All right? No kidding. And by the way, speaking of Al-Qaeda, all of a sudden the media is starting to recognize that Al-Qaeda's coming back, even though you all have known that Al-Qaeda has been fucking shit up out there in Africa and Mali and Burkina Faso for the past 2 years. All right? Take a look at this. Remember Al-Qaeda? The danger hasn't gone away. While ISIS gets headlines, Al-Qaeda quiet revival risks going unnoticed. Well, if you're listening to this broadcast, you would have known about it a long time ago, baby. Huh? The prognosticator strikes again. And Vox Artificial, the CIA's only reason those jihadists want to kill us, dipshit. What are you talking about, man? They do what we tell them, all right? They do what we tell them. You see, this is above your pay grade, boy. And feminist socialists, so you're cool with CIA killing innocent Americans again? I mean, listen, I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. But when it comes to foreign policy and creating the optics necessary to allow people to understand that, hey, we should be on board to facilitate this particular foreign policy, sometimes things need to be done. All right? I'm just putting it out there. But anyway, going back to Al-Qaeda, the danger has not gone away. And let me tell you, all of a sudden the media is capturing what I've been talking about for the past 2 fucking years. All right? I've been saying this. Al-Qaeda and ISIS, they're fucking shit up. Didn't I say they were going to fuck shit up? I've been telling you people this. And by the way, Al-Qaeda's got a new leader, if y'all don't know. Take a look at this. Al-Qaeda's new leader, Adel, has a $10 million bounty on his head. Now, where the hell did they recruit this guy, right? You know, this guy is taking over the al-Zawahiri. He was the old guy with a dot in his head that sat next to bin Laden all the time in those videos. He recently died last year, I think, in a drone attack in Afghanistan. And now they've anointed this guy right here. All right, he is the successor of Ayman al-Zawahiri. And this guy, his name is, what the fuck is his name? His name is Adel something. There it is. CF al-Adel. CF al-Adel. He was a former Egyptian Special Forces officer who is a high-ranking member of Al-Qaeda with a $10 million bounty on his head. Now, although U.S. intelligence officials said in January that Zawahiri's succession remained unclear, the United Nations report assessing risk from the group said in discussions in November and December, many member states took the view that CF al-Adel is already operating as the de facto and uncontested leader of the group. Now, believe it or not, aside from this guy being trained by the Egyptian military forces, he actually served in Iraq. He actually served in Iraq, and he was actually one of the special forces under Saddam Hussein. And at first, he was a member of ISIS, because believe it or not, ISIS actually was developed in both Iraq and Syria. I don't know if anybody remembers when we first went into Iraq. We were met up with this devout terrorist that it took us a long time to kill named Zakawi. I don't know if y'all remember Zakawi, but he was fucking shit up all in Afghanistan when we were in there, and we were trying to kill this son of a bitch, and we finally got to him. But Zakawi was actually the creator of ISIS, which ended up becoming ISIS. And this is why all this connection all goes back to Iraq and Syria. All right? That's why this guy, Saif Adel, is the new leader of Al-Qaeda, who was not only a former Egyptian Special Forces. Now, lest we forget that Ayman al-Zawahiri, the old man that used to sit next to bin Laden in those videos, he was part of the assassination team that killed the president of Egypt in the 70s, Omar Sadat. So you take that connection, and also he was also a special paramilitary special forces guy next to Saddam Hussein. And then once the fall of Saddam Hussein came along, this guy joined ISIS, which is the Zakawi ISIS, excuse me. This fucking guy's got all kinds of fucking weird Yehudi names. And then once the Zakawi ISIS kind of mended itself into the Syrian outfit, because the Syrian outfit ISIS is basically al-Nusra and I think al-Nusra and I forgot the other group, my bad. But either way, that's where all ISIS is now. So this is the new man of Al-Qaeda. Take a look at him. If you know where he's at, you get $10 million, but I would beware. All right? So Al-Qaeda's back. Everybody knew this. And I told you that after the Niger junta, let's go ahead and talk about Africa since we're talking about Al-Qaeda. I told you that once the Niger junta kicked out the American military out of their country, didn't I tell you that Al-Qaeda was going to cause holy jihadist hell in this region? Well, by God, it continues from last show. Take a look at this, all right? I told you. Put the PC shot on. Terrorist attacks escalate in Niger. Dozens killed this week. Now, this is a U.S. Special Forces weapons sergeant training a Nigerian soldier so that he can fight these fucking people. All right? And hold on, Tanky Right. I'm going to talk about Iran in a minute. All right? But we're talking about Al-Qaeda because they're back on the scene. They got a new leader. They're getting media attention. All right? So I'm just highlighting what's going on. And hold on. Real female developing at least 25 people shot, 5 fatally in a Memorial Day weekend shooting across Chicago. Thoughts? Well, they don't call it Chirac for nothing. All right, I'm just saying. I wouldn't take a dirty diarrhea shit in Chicago. No offense to anybody who lives there. And a real female, Illinois politicians want offender to justice-impacted individual. This expansion marks a significant milestone in our ongoing efforts to promote equal libtards at it again. So, yeah, I get it, a real female, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm talking about Niger here, all right? Once again, a prognosticator strikes again. I told you that once that Niger military junta asked the United States military to leave, that holy hell was going to be taking place in Niger, and it continues. Take a look at this, all right? We got armed men kill at least 18 civilians in southern or central Mali, Burkina Faso. So I'm telling you all right now, man, this is what is happening. There is lots of things going on all across the world right now. Al-Qaeda, like I said, was going to hit North Africa, probably, you know, in the region of where the Red Sea is, Somalia, Yemen, and that's where they all are. That's where they all are. So once again, a prognosticator strikes again. Now, I don't want to stick too much on this subject because we do still have a lot to talk about, but I just wanted to, you know, pat myself on the back, baby. I told you. You know what I mean? I told you, for Christ's sake. Now, speaking of Syria, since I did talk about it here a little while ago, take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Al-Qaeda in Syria are attacking U.S.-trained rebels as they enter. Now, what did I tell you folks about Al-Qaeda and ISIS? Even though they are both CIA satellites, they do not like each other, okay? They do not like each other. So this report out here by the Business Insider via Yahoo, Al-Qaeda is actually U.S.-trained rebel. Who the fuck are we training out there? ISIS! That's who we're training out there, ISIS! So I just wanted to put a point of emphasis that ISIS and Al-Qaeda do not like each other. They don't like each other. Okay, and now speaking of ISIS, since we're talking about ISIS here, put the PC shot on. Here is the new leader of ISIS, by the way. This is after the leader, the former leader of ISIS, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, was killed in a drone attack. But this is the gentleman right here who is the successor to Baghdadi. And, his name is Abdul Kardash. And this is the guy that is operating, apparently, all the ISIS and everything going on out there in the field when it comes to Syria and Iraq. So just to let everybody know, they're identifying the leaders, and they're on the move. If you all would have listened to me last year, 2 years ago, you would have known about this a long time ago. You would have known about this a long time ago. And by the way, going back to Syria, since Al-Qaeda is in Syria, since we've got Syrian forces, which are on the Bashar al-Assad side in this area, we've got ISIS, we've got SDF fighters. It's a whole clusterfuck going on out there in Syria. But check a look at this. All right. All in Deir el-Esso countryside within the SDF areas, that's the Syrian Democratic Forces, ISIS carries out 9 operations in 10 days. Now, what they're doing, folks, is they're trying to put fear in the SDF, and the SDF are on the side of Al-Qaeda. Just FYI. ISIS is al-Nusra and the Free Syrian Army. The SDF are Al-Qaeda friendly and Turkish friendly on top of that. Just FYI, I know it's very confusing, but this is the way it is. Now, the reason ISIS carried out these operations is because they're trying to terrorize the SDF folks that are supporting these guys. And what they did is they killed a whole bunch of people in this countryside who refused to pay a zakat to ISIS. Now, a zakat, believe it or not, is some kind of a payment to pay homage to the leadership of whatever the hell is leading whatever geographic location. And anybody who refused to pay the zakat, they got killed. All right, 9 operations in 10 days in Syria. All right, in Syria. Now, why am I bringing this up? Because as I stated, Iraq and Syria, I stated it on the last show, there's a weapon supply line going from Syria all the way to Iraq. Now, how the hell did they establish that? Because it's us. Now, as I stated on the last show and several other shows previous to that, that Iraq wants the United States to leave their country. Now, we're not going to leave. We have one of the most expensive bases we ever paid for there in Iraq, so we're just hanging there, but we had stopped military operations in Iraq. And what did I tell you? Once we stopped operations in Iraq, what the hell did I tell you? Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Biden to meet with Iraqi Prime Minister amid tensions over troops and renewed ISIS threats. I mean, give me a break, all right? Give me a damn break. I mean, the prognosticator strikes again. And the reason that we're now hitting up northern Iraq and areas of Iraq with ISIS fighters is to show Iraq that they can't control their own country. If we're gone, they're going to end up falling just like Afghanistan. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. That's exactly what's going to happen. So, prognosticator strikes again. And the reason we want the Iraqi position is just in case Iran gets uppity. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Before I get to Iran, I just want to put a little side note here. Did y'all? Well, never mind. Let's just move on. Let's go ahead and go to Iran. All right. Now, take a look at this. Mystery over the Iranian president's helicopter crash continues. Now, the reason there's a mystery, folks, is because as I've told each and every one of you, that was CIA, baby, who did this attack. CIA did this attack. Now, I can't tell you how they did it. I mean, there's a lot of reports that fog came out of nowhere. There's a lot of, a lot of factors in there. I mean, lest we forget they were in a 78 Bell helicopter, which probably didn't help. But isn't it rather convenient that Iran's president, the head of state of Iran, was taken out? Now, hold that thought. Let me go ahead and get to some of these donos here. But there's something to this, all right? There's something to this. Put the PC shot on. We've got Uzda Pecora said, Conpeko, HoloLives, third generation, Uzda Kerpeko. If you want a real channel of streaming, go to Count Binface on you. Just get the hell out of here. Get out of here, Count Binface, you prick. All right? And I'm skipping this one, all right? Whoever the hell donated that, go shove it up your ass. And Tanky Wright, but what about Iran? Can we talk about Iran? We need to go know what's happening in Iran. Well, I'm talking about Iran right now, all right, Tanky Wright? And we got the base department. Ghost, did you see the body cam of that cop in Missouri that shot and killed a small defense's blind, deaf dog? Shit pisses me off as a dog owner, man. Cop was black, by the way. I don't know, man. Law enforcement seems to have a hard-on on killing people's dogs, all right? Both the local, state, and federal, all right? I think it's fucking sick. But anyway, I just want to let everybody know, once again, please hook it up with the $10 or the $25 True Capitalist Radio membership. It gives you access to the chat room. By the way, I've been having some great conversations with everybody in there. 100% serious. No kind of man-child shit. No internet drama shit. Pure adult conversation, which I appreciate. So cheers to everybody in there who's in that chat room, man. And I will be in that chat room in about 30 or 45 minutes after I end this show. So if you want to come kick back with me, you want to come chill with me, you want to have a serious conversation about business, about stocks, about politics, about international relations, or whatever, come and kick back with us, man, all right? $10 minimum, $25 for the upper tier. Cheers to everybody out there who is a part of the True Capitalist membership. And by the way, these membership make a text-to-speech free True Capitalist radio show, all right? And Eddie 324758, is your evidence that it's CIA? Just trust me, bro? Well, go figure it out for yourself, Eddie, all right? And Vox Artificials, oh, it's totally not Mossad. Okay, great. Menno Ray, law enforcement has had a bitch habit of double dipping, too. All right, don't donate to me. I'm not acknowledging. Look, anybody on Rumble that's giving me $1, I'm not supporting. Don't donate me $1. I'm ignoring dollar donations on Rumble, all right? All right, you're a cheap bastard, all right? I'm not some stupid fucking stripper on the main stage dancing to fucking Genuine's Pony, you piece of shit, all right? If you appreciate the content, I'd appreciate a little bit more than a fucking dollar, all right? Like I'm some fucking cheap fucking $2 whore on nickel night or some shit, you fucking piece of crap. Jesus Christ. Anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about out here before I got rudely interrupted, all right? Put the PC shot on. Oh, look at it. Now the $2. Oh, Tooney thought. Fuck off, Vox Artificials. All right, get the hell out of here. Put the PC shot on. Mystery once again over Iranian's president helicopter crash. Of course it's a mystery. I mean, anybody who is a head of state and their chopper or whatever vehicle is carrying them goes down or crashes, you know, you gotta look at it with a jaundiced eye. You know what I mean? Now, with that being said, what does this do? Like, take a look at this. After Raisi's funeral, the Iranian president, what do we do after this? I mean, what is it that is in play for Iran? Now, obviously, I don't like Iran. I mean, right when this goddamn, this shit happened, right when the goddamn shit happened, I said that, hey, we should be lobbing bombs over there. We should be lobbing bombs over there and allowing the Iranian people to take control of their country. But I think that the CIA may have a different approach on this because right now Iran is very vulnerable. And as I alluded to you on the last show, Iran is now in a semi-transitional phase. I had told you that if you take a look at the remembrance or the mourning of Raisi that was conducted by the Ayatollah, it was nothing but a bunch of old farts. Nothing but a bunch of old farts. And that's because the majority of people, the population of Iran, is under the age of 30. So this old guard of the Iranian Revolution is fading away. Now, what makes me think that, we're changing our position on Iran and taking a what if and let's see attitude? Well, take a look at what Biden did today, which is very interesting. Take a look at this. Biden administration presses allies not to confront Iran on nuclear program? What? I mean, folks, what this represents is that we're going to still play a game with Iran. Because remember, Iran has always been used as a bargaining chip, or not even really a bargaining chip, just some kind of pawn in the grand chessboard of international relations by Russia and China. And really, Russia and China haven't given these guys dick, other than a bunch of lip service. And this is why Biden is saying, look, let's not confront Iran right now on their nuclear program, because believe it or not, folks, there is an election coming up. That's right. Raisi, the president of Iran, got killed right before an election. Kind of sounds like the Slovakian president, or a Slovakian president, right? So right now, I think that the CIA and the current administration are a just see and wait type of attitude. Because when we do this, all right, and then we kind of are at some level of diplomacy with Iran, Iran will then turn their backs, at least this is the intention, will turn their backs on being such a belligerent. And we're going to wait and see in this election. Remember, there's an election coming up, and this could potentially cause a political shift within Iran.
I'd buy that for
without
$1.
You piece of crap for doxing. God damn it, cut the crap! Cut the crap! Anyway, as I was stating, the election could cause a political shift without us having to do anything militarily. So this is the wait and see attitude. That's why the administration is saying, hey, let's not be so aggressive on Iran. Let's play Iran, all right? Let's play the grand chessboard game here. And if they're going to continue to be a belligerent, well, then we hit them the fuck up, all right? Because what position do they have? They're all old. Everybody who is in charge of Iran is an old piece of shit. So this election, everybody should have their eyes on. Everybody should have their eyes on and see what the hell happens in Iran. Because remember, Raisi, the president, was supposed to be the heir apparent Ayatollah once this Ayatollah kicks the bucket. Now what? All right? I mean, they're in a very weird position, at least domestically, as far as their government apparatus is concerned. So this is going to be something to watch, if you want my opinion. Let me get some of these donos here. We got Eddie 324758. Vox is a national treasure. When the U.S. eventually gets absorbed with Canada, he's going to be given the official title. Get off his nuts, all right? Real female, here's your $2, you shekel noseberg, actual Jew. Jesus. Do you see what I'm saying, dude? Jesus Christ. All right, take it on. You know what? I don't even know why I'm continuing on with this broadcast if you people aren't going to take shit serious, man, all right? I mean, if nobody's going to take this shit serious, I don't even know why I'm even here, for Christ's sake. Just sit there and shut up. Just shut the fuck up. All right? All of you. I don't care what chat room you're in, all right? I don't care if you're in the goddamn a Rumble chat room. I don't care if you're in the YouTube chat room or the D-Live chat room, all right? If you don't got nothing positive to say, then shut your stupid rose-butted asshole having cuckold connoisseur looking sphincter fingering turkey tit sucking ass up. Shut up! Hey, look, here's Vox Artificial. Go back to reading Family Guy scripts, Tooney thought. Dude, I'm telling you right now, you guys better shut your goddamn mouths, all right? All right, this is why anybody who's out there that wants True Capitalist Radio to continue on this serious path, I am, urging you, man, entertain joining the True Capitalist Radio membership, man. We got to show these trolls that I'm not entertainment for tards, damn it. Jesus Christ. You know, I don't even know if I want to do this show. You know what? I'm doing me right now. You know what? I'm doing me. I'm going to go ahead and smoke me some tobacco since you people are flapping your fat sausages of fingers on the keyboard talking a bunch of malarkey. All right? more than half of you people are a bunch of neck-bearded pieces of shit that live in your mother's basement and grow mushrooms out of your masturbation towel. You piece of shit. And what? Oh, you son of a bitch. You goddamn son of a bitch, dude. I'm telling you, guys are assholes. Here's $10 for a safe space. Look, asshole. All right? The True Capitalist membership is not a safe space. And if you're going to call it that, I don't give a shit. I want serious discussion. I don't want internet drama. All right, you fucking useless fucking pile of human protoplasm trolls. All right? Piece of shit. And Real Female said Ghost is from the original 12 tribes of Israel and is Benjamin Netanyahu's son. Type W if it's true. And then Puerto Rican prostate punch. Fuck your web comic hug box. Web comic hug box. All right. Hey, thank you, Colonel Transisco, for another Ninja Guinea, man. You know what? I'm gonna put some fucking lemons. All right. I'm gonna put some lemons in the treasure chest right now. All right. Everybody over there at D Live has been cool. We're putting 2,000 lemons in the D Live right now. There are 2,000 lemons. All right, because everybody over here at the Rumble chat has been a bunch of dicks. Although the YouTube chat hasn't been horrible. All right, the YouTube chat hasn't been horrible. So, with that being said, all right. Anyway, let's get back to where I'm at. Hey, I can't forget to the people at Twitter. I mean, lest we forget, man, we got a lot of people listening to us on Twitter. And cheers to everybody on Twitter. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. We got 411 people listening live right now on Twitter. So I want to say cheers to each and every one of you. Sorry that I'm getting upset. I'm being simulcasted, by the way, on Rumble, on YouTube, on D Live, and on Trovo. And most of these chats are talking a bunch of garbage, all right? So I have to say cheers to everybody out there who's listening on Twitter, all right? And dude, listen to me. Cut the crap. Look, if you don't cut this crap out, you fucking trolls, I'm getting out of here. I'm getting the hell out of here. And Vox Artificial, shout out to the X chat. What, X has got a chat? What the hell? X has got a chat? Where's the chat? Where's the fuck? Oh, there it is right there. Put the PC shot on. They got a fucking chat room. I didn't even fucking know. Look, they got a fucking chat room here. Oh, God. All right, you know what? Can we... How can I do... How can I get fucking, like, ops on my chat room? How can I close the chat room down? I don't want a chat room on this show. How do I close this chat room down? All right, I don't want a chat room on this show. God damn it, Alon! Can you make this shit easier? Jesus Christ, can you make this crap easier, for Christ's sake? All right, I'm getting tired. Folks, I'm sorry. I'm getting tired of this damn show. I mean, I'm trying, all right? I'm trying here. Anybody,
I'd buy that for
Jesus
$1.
Christ. Here we go, dude. Here we go. All right. I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying. I'm trying to continue on here. All right. But as you can see, I mean, take a look at this. I'm being bombarded by a bunch of jerk nuts. Look at this crap. Anubis, like, slam it, slam it, slam it. And Tanky Wright, you should allow audio files. They were the best part of TCR. This pay-gated TTS, you get your shekels, we get our edutainment, plus we're all poor neckbeards and can't afford $15, right? Well then, look, if you care about True Capitalist Radio, oh God, dude, you know what? Everybody just shut your mouth. All right? Everybody just shut your stupid stinking salmon smelling hole over here. I'm trying to talk about international relations. So shut the fuck up. All right, sorry, folks. All right, let's go ahead and get back here. And let's make a transition, no pun intended, from Iran to Pakistan. And why? Well, even though Iran had its president assassinated, or Kobe Bryant, or whatever you want to call it, they decided to flex some nuts, Iran. And they decided to throw a couple of missiles at Syria. They decided to throw some missiles into Iraq. And hold on, wait a minute. Pakistan? That's right, folks. Pakistan warns of serious consequences after Iran missile attack kills 2 children. So, like I said, maybe that's a reason why the United States is having a sit-and-wait attitude when it comes to the Iranian situation here post the helicopter crash of the president. Because who knows? Maybe Pakistan, maybe the Taliban. I mean, Iran has got a lot of folks that don't like him that are surrounding him. So it's definitely a wait-and-see attitude, all right? And Urinator, can you pipe down for a minute? I'm trying to sleep. Well, then get out of here! All right, get the hell out of here! Son of a bitch, I'm tired of you people talking crap, man. All right? I'm over here providing substance upon substance upon substance on the debating table. Dude, I'm sparking fucking synapses out here. Let me take a smoke, folks. I'm sorry. I got to do me here. I'm sorry, man. I'm trying. I'm trying to, give everybody information. But, of course, when you broadcast on the internet, you've got these stupid fucking used condom-sucking, kebab meatbag-chewing, Hillary Clinton bedpan-changing, rusty trombone-playing, Magic Johnson toilet-licking pieces of fucking cornbread fucking eating trash out here talking a bunch of garbage to me, and it's fucking taking me out of my goddamn zone, man. All right? Whenever I'm doing the True Capitalist radio show, I'm in a fucking zone. I'm in a fucking zone. Jesus Christ. And look at this fucking Vox Artificials. A cheap bottle of vodka provides more substance. Go fuck off, dude. Real female. Type Z of if Ghost is boring and get to radiography. Look, anybody who says Z, kick him out of the fucking room. Kick him out! Is that substance you're handing out Jew cum? Oh, God. All right. I've had just about enough of this, all right? I've had just about enough of this. I have more stuff to talk about out here. All right? I've got more stuff to talk about. I mean, did you hear what's happening to Pakistan? Now, what did I say about Pakistan? I said if I was Xi Jinping, instead of focusing on Taiwan, instead of maybe focusing on the Philippines, I would use China forces to go right into Pakistan with the okay of the Pakistani Authority, of course, and to go in and clean house because Pakistan,
for $1.
someone just hooked it up. Hey, can't wait for the chat. Cheers to someone becoming a new member. I appreciate it, man, whoever that someone is. You're the reason why we have text-to-speech free, man. Cheers to you. And we got Gorgira's Trains with 3 beers. Sub Ghost, happy Memorial Day. I'm in a fucking zone, man. Anyway, cheers to you, man, all right? Gorgira Trains, member of the Inner Circle and a member of the membership, by the way. Cheers, man. All right, let's go ahead. And by the way, if you're joining the membership to talk garbage, you're wasting your money. You know what I mean? You're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. All right, we're not even going to hook that up. You're going to go right, you're going to get kicked right the fuck out. And thanks for the 10 or 25 bucks. So just FYI, if you're going into the True Capitalist Radio membership chat room to troll, you're going to get kicked the fuck out, all right? I don't give a shit if you call it a safe space or not. You're getting kicked the fuck out. I don't want any of this goddamn stupid internet drama in this goddamn chat room. Do you understand me, you milky lickers? Anyway, let's get back to Pakistan here. Now, as I was stating, if I were Xi, I would go into Pakistan with the okay of the Pakistani Authority in order to take the billions of dollars that I've invested into Pakistan under the Belt and Road Initiative. Well, take a look at what's happening, folks. I told you last week that now Pakistan is begging China to go talk to the Taliban, to talk to some fucking sense into them, because the Taliban is allowing people free passage in and out of Pakistan through their border, and they're hitting them up. And I said that is one step before the damn Pakistani government is asking the Chinese to go in and help them with their security issues. I think it takes another step closer today, baby. Take a look at this. Pakistan to pay $2.58 million in compensation to the fucking families of the 5 Chinese engineers who died in a suicide bombing. And these were engineers trying to build that now paused Belt Road Initiative that China is pretty much shit out of luck for. Or are they? Is the Belt Road Initiative still paused considering all the destabilization actions that are happening in Pakistan? Huh? Nope, folks. Take a look at this, all right? I'm not joking. Not only are they paying Pakistan Pakistan paying the Chinese for the suicide attacks on the Chinese engineers for the Belt Road Initiative. Take a look at this. Pakistan to revive China's Belt and Road Initiative projects. Pakistan is flagship destination for 25 billion projects. So now all of a sudden, Pakistan wants to revive the Belt Road Initiative. All of a sudden, they're giving compensation to Chinese engineers who died trying to engineer this damn Belt Road Initiative. I'm telling you, folks, in my opinion, if Xi Jinping was smart, he would do exactly what I say and go right into Pakistan. And what he would do is just use the Chinese military to destroy all these militants out there, from ISIS to the Tariqi Taliban to the Balochistan separatists. And speaking of the Balochistan separatists, these are folks.
I'd buy that for $1.
These are the folks that you really need to get rid of, if you want my opinion, if I were China, because take a look at what the Balochistan, I hate to keep announcing that, the Balochistan, or whatever the fuck they're called. Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. Why are the separatist militants violently targeting Chinese in Pakistan? The Balochistan Liberation Army sees Chinese investment in Western Pakistan as a form of colonization. So they have no choice. And by the way, this would make China look like a formidable force without potentially going into some kind of a quagmire in Taiwan or in Pakistan, or Philippines. I mean, they could crush this fucking little Balochistan army. They could crush them. They could crush ISIS in Pakistan and brutalize them and show the world that, hey, China ain't no joke. And we slaughtered these terrorists. And they'll be killing two birds with one stone. I mean, China will look like they're tough. Pakistan will get their investment. China gets their Belt Road Initiative built. So that's why I'm saying, all right? I know the article's 6 years old, you dick. I'm just saying, why are they targeting it, you fucking... Don't kick Anubis out of here. You know what, Anubis? You're a fucking moron. You sound fat in the ass, too. Get out of here, all right? Put the fucking fork down, you fat piece of shit, before you come up into my chat room and talk shit again. Fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I think we're that much closer for what I had suggested Xi Jinping do to becoming a reality. I think we're that much closer to do it. But until then, Pakistan continues to get hit the fuck up. Take a look at this. 4 Pakistani soldiers killed in an attack on army base. All right? I mean, they still keep getting fucking hit the fuck up, for Christ's sake. So, I don't know where they go from here. I have no idea where they go. Dude, everybody just shut the hell up, please, all right? Everybody just shut up. Jesus Christ. Once again... All right, I can't do this fucking show anymore, man. All right, I have to choose one platform and just make sure that none of these trolls are on that platform. I cannot stand, you people from the Ghost Show, why do you think I didn't want to waste my Sunday yesterday broadcasting to you tards? Because of stupid shit like this! Because you're fucking retarded, and you make me sick, all right?
I'd buy that for $1.
I wouldn't piss on you people if you were on fire, you fucking troll pieces of shit. You make me want to puke, all right? You make me want to puke. Jesus Christ, excuse my French to everybody out there who's trying to listen to the substance, that I'm trying to get across here. But, this is what I got to put up with. Put the PC shot on. All right, cheers to someone who just came into the chat here. All right, hopefully that's not somebody causing trouble. What's up to Gorgira Trains, man? 3 beers. Sub Ghost. Happy Memorial Day. Bring the fucking zone and provide the real talk. And fuck the trolls. Yeah, no kidding, man. Froppy, why is it that all these right-wingers claiming that they want to protect kids end up being exposed as pedos? Libs of TikTok stalks minors on social media and is responsible for kids being doxxed on the internet. Matt Walsh thinks 16-year-old girls can give consent to grown men. going so far as to say that 16 is the right age for a girl to start a family. Elon Musk, a friend of Epstein, and was caught role-playing and has his 4-year-old son on an alternate account sexting OnlyFans models. Gays Against Groomers, the CEO is a straight woman married to a man who is on the sex offender registry and has a prison record for sexually abusing minors. I'm not going to say what I wish could happen, but let's just say the court of Remington never misses. All right, I think you got a point there, Froppy, but, you know, I know you're a leftist piece of trash. All right, no offense. Who else we got? We got Jatario. Don't worry, Ghost. Most of these tards will be killing each other in cold blood for the last can of Hormel corned beef hash. Cheers. Also, my first dono meant to have text. When RFK was talking, it put me in a pissy mood. If that fuck ever gets elected, I might be wearing earplugs for 4 years. You don't know what you're talking about, Jatario. Cheers to Jatario. And what is this? Puerto Rican prostate puncher keeps screaming, I'm edging. So there you go. Anyway, let us continue. Let's talk a little bit about Saudi Arabia, since I was saying that the world is pivoting. Now, you all know that I was suggesting that we're getting Al-Qaeda beefed up in Yemen and in Sudan in order to potentially cause a threat to Saudi Arabia. Well, that has all changed here within this past weekend. And let me show you what I'm talking about, all right? Put the PC shot on. U.S. is expected to lift a ban on the sale of offensive weapons to Saudi Arabia? What? I mean, that goes against what the hell our foreign policy has been towards Saudi Arabia here for the past couple of years. What's the big change? Well, the reason the change is because Saudi Arabia recognizes that it done goofed. And siding with China and Russia is not the right thing to do and could potentially jeopardize the integrity of their whole goddamn system in Saudi Arabia. Now, even though we are expected to lift a ban on the sale of offensive weapons to Saudi Arabia, what has Saudi Arabia done for us to make us believe that it's okay for the U.S. to do this? Well, let's talk about that, right? I said that the CIA was targeting the Saudi Arabians because they were siding with China. They were siding with China by giving them petroleum at a lower price, at a higher quantity than everybody else that they supplied to via OPEC. And that was a slap in the face to the United States. Well, that has all changed now, all right? That's why we're allowing this sale of weapons to Saudi Arabia, because, folks, things are a-changing, all right? Take a look at this. Put the PC shot on. U.S. National Security Advisor and Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince meet to discuss semi-final security deal. So it looks like Saudi Arabia has made a legit commitment on being on the side of the United States of America. And even though they may have entertained trying to potentially having another separate allyship with either China and or Russia, they have now torn that particular plan out the window. They've forgotten about it. It's over. They ain't doing it. They ain't doing it. So I'm sure many of you are asking, well, what about the sales to China? All right, when it comes to the oil, I mean, are they still doing that? No, they're not, folks. Take a look at this. All right, first of all, China Gulf Free Trade talks stall on Saudi Arabia's industrial agenda. So right off the bat, when Xi Jinping met with Mohammed bin Salman, Mohammed bin Salman got a whiff of how the Chinese negotiate. All right? They don't negotiate from a compromising position. They negotiate by, look, you're going to do this, and if you don't like it, fuck you, motherfucker. That's what they do. All right? There's no negotiation. There's no compromise. And Mohammed bin Salman got a whiff of that by sitting down with this goddamn piece of trash, Xi Jinping, and recognized it. All right? So as a result, because of that, all right, we got Saudi Arabia pivoting once again more towards the United States of America. And take a look at this. This is what they said here earlier this month. Saudi Arabia's $100 billion AI fund will divest China if the United States asks. All you got to do is ask. We'll sell our fucking interest in China. You just got to ask us. You just have to ask us. So once again, more and more signs that Saudi Arabia is now pivoting back towards where they should have been to begin with the United States of America. And take a look at this. Speaking of oil, China purchases of Saudi crude oil drop in June. So now Saudi Arabia sees the light, and now we are now pivoting away from potential regime change from Saudi Arabia because of the current actions by the kingdom that is moving away from their entertaining of an allyship with China. So there it is, folks. Now Saudi Arabia is now in a little bit of better graces with the United States of America. And if you want my opinion, I think Mohammed bin Salman just spared his life, if you want my opinion. All right? So now Saudi Arabia is now coming to our side. And why is that, folks? Because China, believe it or not, is kind of siding with the UAE. And believe it or not, there is major contention between Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. And this is shown in the Sudan conflict. Because believe it or not, the UAE is backing up a certain faction within Sudan that Saudi Arabia doesn't like. And vice versa. Saudi Arabia is investing in those opposition. It is a clusterfuck. So basically, you're having a quiet proxy war between Saudi Arabia and UAE in Sudan. So that's why you've got Saudi Arabia coming back to the negotiating table and signing deals with the United States, because they feel that their biggest threat right now is UAE and Qatar. And I think they're right. And I think that Saudi Arabia going back to our side aids in them not being victims of what's going to potentially happen to those countries. Let's put it that way. Now, speaking of China, did you hear about this? There was a trilateral meeting, believe it or not. Put the PC shot on. China premier agrees on cooperation with Seoul and Tokyo, but issues a veiled rebuke against their U.S. ties. So the reason that this was called was because of the aggression of China and their military exercises off the coast of the island of Taiwan. And that's why you've got Korea and Japan trying to have this meeting. And they tried to talk to the Chinese. But once again, I mean, what are the Chinese? They talk from a non-compromising position. And instead of using this opportunity as a dialogue, China decides to chastise both Japan and South Korea, which I don't think helps its opportunities of potentially wanting to be imperialistic in the region, because China historically has never been liked by most of the Asiatic races, especially Japan and Korea. So I'm telling you, this is very interesting. I don't know how the hell the South Koreans and the Japanese are interpreting this. I would have interpreted this as disrespect, and I would take a more, dare I say, hawkish approach when it comes to China if I were Japan and South Korea after this rebuke. All right? And with that being said, let me go ahead and take some more donos here before I forget about them. Put the PC shot on. We got Elaine Bennis who said, "Sup, Ghost, here's a suggestion for totally useless news tonight. Great show and cheers. Breast exhibition, Venice." Oh, good God. Trying to get me banned, for Christ's sake, showing bare breast. And what are you going to say? It's art, Ghost. You don't understand. It's art. Anyway, at this trilateral meeting, since you had China trying to chastise both Japan and South Korea as U.S. tools or some shit, Japan announced and used this as an opportunity to announce sanctions over Russia-North Korean arms trade. And that's right, folks, believe it or not, Russia has had to resort to going to North Korea, fat-ass little Kim, in order to get weapons to continue this offensive and this invasion in Ukraine. Now, I know everybody is afraid of little Kim. I don't know why. I think he's a fat little tard. I think he's all talk. I mean, the only reason that he's still in some kind of sustenance when it comes as a country is because China. That's it. And I'm not too certain if getting weapons from North Korea is a right thing to do. I mean, did you see North Korea last night tried to launch one of their bottle rockets to try to show off their military might, and like usual, it was a bunch of crap. And let's go ahead and take a look at that. It blew up in mid-flight. All right. I mean, hell, they're getting funded with China's, Chinese-type quality. Take a look at this. The explosion occurred near North Korea's Chinese border. Looks like the North Korean SLV had a malfunction not long after takeoff. So there it is. There it is right there. I mean, he must have got the fucking rocket from SpaceX or some shit. There it is, just blow it up. Not long after takeoff. And you mean to tell me that the Russians are depending on the North Koreans for weapons? I mean, these damn weapons are going to blow up in the fucking soldiers' faces, man. So anyway, the reason I brought this up is because, once again, the trilateral meeting between Japan, South Korea, and China, Seoul and Tokyo decided to announce sanctions over Russia-North Korean armed trade. All right? So just a slap at China as well, because remember, who supports North Korea? China. That's who supports them. That's who supports them, for Christ's sake. Anyway, let's go ahead and make a transition, okay, into Israel. Because what the fuck is Israel doing? I announced it on the last show, which was like, Israel versus the world. It continues. All right? Israel decided to have airstrikes in Rafah that has killed at least 35. And Israel's trying to claim that it struck a Hamas center, but it actually struck a lot of innocent people, a massive amount of innocent people. And as a result, Benjamin Netanyahu had to come out today and apologize for doing such a thing. All right? I mean, they had to come out and say, look, we're sorry, we didn't know that, and all this other shit. But I don't know how much longer Israel can continue to play this game. I just don't understand. I have no idea. Now, a funny thing happened, and this is the reason why I want to bring it up. This weekend, put the PC shot on. Take a look at this. Israel-Gaza war, anti-government protesters clash with Tel Aviv police and demand a hostage deal. Now, as you can see, this was on the 25th, okay? Now, right after this massive protest, I mean, it was massive. I heard there was like 300, 400,000 people, all right? Demonstrators also called for the resignation of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and for fresh elections. So you had this massive demonstration on the 25th. Then, conveniently enough, the Iron Dome, which is supposed to protect Israel from all kinds of, rocket attacks, miraculously didn't work the next day. Take a look at this, all right? Tel Aviv comes under fire as Hamas rockets pierce through Israel's Iron Dome. And as you can see, this was published right on the 26th. Now, if you want my opinion, I think Israel allowed those rockets to hit. And as a result, many of those folks that were probably protesting were either around those rockets or around those attacks or knew about them in order for them to change their mind on this current offensive that Israel is conducting with Palestine. All right? Of all times for the Iron Dome to have a malfunction, they had a malfunction right after a humongous protest, not only demanding the end of the war, not only demanding a hostage deal, but demanding that Benjamin Netanyahu step down as prime minister. So this is where we're at this point in time. I mean, you got, Israel conveniently, allowing things to penetrate the Iron Dome just to win favor on the current offensive or the military operation against Palestine. That's my take. Who knows if that really happened? Maybe there was a malfunction on the Iron Dome. But what a coincidence. All right. I'm just saying, what a coincidence. All right. Anyway, last but not least, let's go ahead and end it with this. Let's go to the UK. Now, the UK's Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, decided that he had enough confidence to be able to call up a snap election. And the reason they do this in parliamentary governments is to gain more members of parliament because they believe that they have the momentum to be able to do so. So that's why snap elections happen in parliament. And I think it's probably one of the worst decisions Rishi Sunak ever did over there in the UK. Take a look at this, okay? Aside from him having a snap election, putting the Conservative Party at risk, he decides to say this during a campaign, all right? Rishi Sunak defends his bold national service plan for teenagers amid a Tory election campaign row as it's branded political suicide by party members and sparks backlash from minister who says it was sprung at him out of nowhere. Now, what does Rishi Sunak want to do? Well, the Prime Minister said the policy, which will see 18-year-olds forced to either sign up for the military or cyber defense force or undertake unpaid community work, would make society, quote, more cohesive and strengthen the UK defenses. Now, I'm not saying I'm against this, because I think that this is a good policy. Why the hell would you say this right after you announced the damn snap election, you stupid moron? All right? This is not something that's going to win you more members of parliament. It could jeopardize your damn prime ministership, you stupid, dumb fucking Pajit. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? Anyway, I think that we're going to see a liberal UK after this. All right? Either that or they're talking about potential reform party. The potential reform party, for Christ's sake. So we'll see what happens. I think this is a horrible plan. I think this was political suicide, is absolutely correct. And it's almost like Rishi Sunak wants to, I don't know, destroy the Conservative Party over there in the UK. Kind of sounds like somebody that's skunk-headed over here, in my opinion. Jesus Christ. Anyway, that concludes, all right, the True Capitalist Radio broadcast, all right? All right, I know people want totally useless news, so we're going to get to that here in a second. But I just want to put it on the table that I don't appreciate you troll terrorist scumbags coming over here to True Capitalist Radio and doing the kind of garbage that you people are doing. I'm not joking around. I don't appreciate this at all. All right? I'm not even too sure if I'm even going to show up for the ghost show, for Christ's sake, man. I deserve more respect than this crap. All right? I told you idiots to stay away from True Capitalist Radio show. And no, you trolls, you come over here, you talk a bunch of crap. Jesus Christ, man. I'm just through. I'm disgusted. I want to throw up nasty chicken grease and corn oil and cream of wheat. All right? Anyway, totally useless news. Let's go ahead and talk about it, all right? Now, since it's Memorial Day, let's talk about some Memorial Day festivities that are happening. Most people are probably at the beach, right? Well, take a look at what's happening all over America. All right, take a look at this. Beach towns in chaos as Memorial Day weekend crime causes panic, huh? That's great. That's just great. This is the new America, for Christ's sake, all right? All right, this is the new America that we're living in, where you can't even go to the beach anymore without some criminal element, typically folks that listen to gangster rap and hip-hop music, in my opinion, conducting themselves in some criminal violent capacity, jeopardizing the safety of everybody else. And this is another thing that the Republicans need to start cracking down on again, because I don't care what you people say. The First Step Act, which was written by Tim Scott and was signed into power by Donald Trump, is what's causing the majority of the crime that's happening in this country. I showed you at the beginning of the broadcast this Rashidi Tlaib, this dumb, stupid bimbo who represents Michigan, wanted to release every criminal on the street. Well, Donald Trump did that, but he did that to so-called offenders that deserve a second chance, whatever the fuck that means. And after Donald Trump signed the First Step Act, remember when he signed it? He had that big-ass, dumb, stupid bimbo, Kim Kardashian, all right? Signing it with him. All right, I'm not even joking. So when he signed that bill, he released tens of thousands of criminals onto the street. Tens of thousands of them. And you don't think that had any kind of impact on the criminal situation that's happening in this country? I mean, give me a break, folks. All right? The Republican Party needs to go back to being the crime-fighting party again. All right? We got to be the pro-police again. And look, I understand there's police brutality, and there needs to be some reform to that, but there shouldn't be any goddamn defund the police garbage. All right? We need the police to go out there and make sure that our streets are safe, and we can go out to a beach and not worry about our fucking bunch of caps getting busted all over the place. And look, I know there's a lot of folks that don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Oh, no, Ghost Trump didn't do that. He did it. All right? Look it up. The First Step Act. It's because of him we got all this criminality happening all over America, for Christ's sake, man. We need to be the party of crime, against crime. Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'm sorry, folks. I'm trying to just keep my calm here. I mean, there's just so much crap that it just makes me sick, man. It makes me sick that we've devolved into the current situation that is America. This is the greatest country on earth. We have ample opportunity to do whatever we want to do, whatever direction we want to take our lives, and yet people are such spoiled brats in this country. They're depressed. Oh, I'm depressed. I mean, give me a fucking break. All right, I don't know if y'all heard about this, all right? But there was like some PGA player, all right, that committed suicide recently, right? And I'm not, are we supposed to give a shit about this? No offense, all right? But are we supposed to give a shit about this? I mean, I could only imagine some third world person who's living in squalor, doesn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of, can't even feed themselves or their family. Look at this fucking guy here. Put the PC shot on. Take a look at this, okay? This guy, this is not the guy. They're talking about the guy. This guy named Grayson Murray died by suicide. Now, I don't know if y'all guys pay attention to the PGA Tour, but everybody and their brother was coddling this Grayson Murray because, oh my God, he's got mental health problems and giving him all the attention and the stroke that all these fucking mental health people want, all right? And it wasn't enough, right? All the fucking stroking, are you okay? Teaching them, like, treating them with fucking kid gloves and shit. It didn't work. It didn't fucking work. And I'm tired of this mental health crap. I'm sorry. If you have so much not to live for and you're in this country, I mean, what are we supposed to do as people? I mean, if you're a fuckhead that for whatever reason doesn't believe that you're, I'm nothing on this earth, I can't. This guy was playing for the PGA Tour. You know how hard it is to get on the fucking PGA Tour? You know how much fucking money you can make on the PGA Tour just for placing? You don't even need to win the damn thing, just for placing. No, I got mental health issues, and I guess I'm going to kill myself. I'm tired of this shit. I am so tired of this shit. I am so tired of people. I got depressed. I'm depressed. I don't know what to do. Most of the world right now, especially over there on the other side of the pond, are living in war zones. They're living in fucking poverty. They don't have enough money to let alone support themselves to eat. All right, we're the only nation on earth that has a morbidly obese problem. All right? And yet everybody in this fucking goddamn place, United States, at least most people, have some fucking kind of mental problem, and they're popping some kind of psychotropic drug, and it's fucking pathetic. When are you people going to recognize that whatever mental health is that was incepted by the fucking psychological and psychiatrist industries doesn't work, all right? All these stupid pills that you idiots are popping is only making shit worse, all right? Stop using mental health as a crutch. All right? Go have a fucking bullshot. Go have a fucking drink or some shit. All right? Go smoke some tobacco for fuck's sake. I'm tired of dealing with fucking weak fucking people and their mental fucking health. All right? Look, I'm sorry. Grayson Murray died of suicide. How are we supposed to stop him? How are we supposed to stop him? Everybody kissed this brat's ass on the PGA. Every time he had a microphone in his hand, like, yeah, I've got this mental health thing going, and, you know, I'm trying to make it better, and, you know, I'm trying to do this, and dude, fuck mental health, all right? Fuck mental. I'm tired of hearing fucking, oh, my mental health, I'm depressed, fuck your fucking mental health. Piece of shit. Y'all didn't say shit. Well, never mind. I don't even want to bring up COVID. Anyway, let's get to the last couple of donos. Let me get the fuck out of here. All right? Tanky Right, type A if Ghost should allow audio files on TCR. Also, you often complain you're depressed. Why should we give a shit? It's a bit, you fucking idiot. You think I'm depressed? Are you fucking kidding me? I love my fucking life, all right? I get depressed whenever I do these fucking shows because I gotta deal with you fucking mental cases, all right? Jesus Christ. And we got, what is it, rioting in Taiwan. Are we going to have Radio Graffiti tonight or what? How about no? Jesus Christ. And look at Menno Ray. Crazy talk on Memorial Day. You know, fuck you, Menno Ray, all right? You're a fucking stupid loser piece of fucking immigrant trash, all right? Why don't you go spit shine my shoes, you fucking immigrant? Fucking tired of these. I'm tired of this shit, all right? I'm over here trying to spark synapses in the brains of folks, and all I got is a bunch of two-bit shit talkers trying to talk garbage, for Christ's sake. Make me fucking sick, man. All right, anyway, look. I don't know when the next Ghost show is, all right, you stupid troll terrorist scumbag bastards. But I'm definitely doing another True Capitalist Radio before Friday. I can tell you that right goddamn now. Because I like doing True Capitalist Radio. All right, I'm attempting to spark synapses in the brains of folk out here. The only I get sidetracked because of you pieces of shit. And fuck you, Menno Ray, in the goddamn Rumble chat. Fuck you. All right, trying to spin shit, you fucking son of a bitch. God damn it. All right, I'm getting out of here. All right, all you people that are out here talking garbage, I don't care what chat room in, you're a piece of crap. Here, let me unleash the lemons for the folks in the D-Live chat who've been semi-chill over there. All right? Cheers to the folks in the D-Live chat that have been semi-chill over there. I'm going to release the 2,000 lemons, all right, that I've got going on here. All right, hold on just a second. We got Anime Capitalist who just hooked it up with a $2 Rumble rant. One thing that I can think we can all take from the Nick Rakita saga is that only ourselves can fix our lives and improve them. No one is coming to save us, and we have to strive for improvement. Oh, look at that. Look at Winston Fujimori giving some inspirational tips on how you need to recognize that ain't nobody going to do nothing for you. You've got to do something for yourself. And that's the difference, once again, between capitalists and everybody else, all right? Everybody else hopes and wishes things happen to them. Capitalists go out and they make shit happen. Do you understand that? Capitalists go out and they make shit happen, boy. All right, anyway, let me go ahead and release the lemons to everybody out there. We got 2,000 lemons we're about to distribute to everybody out there in D-Live. And we're going to do this in 5, 4, 3, 2... Hold on, let me take a smoke real fast. All right, give me a smoke. That's it. All right, we're going to release it now. All right, release the damn lemons. We just released the lemons. Look, Twinkle Tard War! Yeah, anyway, by the way, Twinkle Tart, I'm glad you told me about that. If you happen to be on my YouTube channel, all right, I'm an artist, okay? And I am putting my poetry into song, all right? And I would appreciate some folks that go into that channel and actually give me some thumbs up over there, because we got these troll terrorist scumbags, all right, that are making my music sound like a fucking mockery, and I don't appreciate it one bit. Anyway, we got Wolf336 with 370 lemons, Defeat Yehudi with 213 lemons, the White Power Ranger with 154 lemons, Bleach V with 122 lemons, and Wafello with 100 lemons, all right? Anyway, folks, I do not know when I'm going to be doing another broadcast, so if you'd like to be the first one notified, go to my X account or Twitter, whatever it's referenced to you in your head, put the PC shot on, The Ghost Report, all one word, no underscores, The Ghost Report. You'll be the first one notified. As a matter of fact, it'll actually come out as the stream. As you can see here, look at 525 people listening right now on Twitter or X. Cheers to all those folks. We've also got about 150 folks out there in Rumble. We've got about 100 folks in D Live, and we've got about 250 people over there at YouTube. So we got some major people listening to the True Capitalist Radio broadcast. Cheers to each and every one of you, man. And once again, I am going to be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room here in about 30 minutes to chat to everybody. You see that chat box right there in the lower left-hand corner? I'm going to be in there here in about 30 minutes. And if you want to come chill with us, go ahead right now and join the True Capitalist membership. All right, it's as simple as clicking the $10 a month, and you'll be right into the chat room. If you'd like a free autograph, hook it up with a $25 a month, and you'll be getting one of those as well. So cheers to everybody out there. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Please spread the word about the show, because, of course, I don't get any props from any of these stupid mainstream pieces of goddamn crap. And by the way, it's 104 degrees out here where I'm at right now, so nothing like a little hot sun, huh? Anyway, cheers to everybody out there. True Capitalist Radio is in effect. I will be in the True Capitalist Radio chat room in 30 minutes. I hope to see you there, baby. I hope to see you there. And there's going to be no internet drama. There's none of that shit. If you want to have a mature conversation, I would strongly suggest to entertain hooking it up with a True Capitalist Radio show membership, all right? Anyway, I'm out of here.